Let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe with Liquid Beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
It's the cool red hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tune in, even my wife. And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
Something sounds different there today, doesn't it?
Hello?
Is that just us? Like, we sound okay.
Do we?
I think that I think the board is. Maddie was messing around with the board again yesterday. It was
Classic.
like, everything's fine, but I don't think everything's fine. Trevor, what I might do is I'll connect to that board again, and we might do it that way. Throw up the 2-shot there, Trev. We're all listening. We're like, it kind of sounds okay, but it also sort of sounds slightly different. I'm not too sure.
Something's going on there.
What that was. You say we're good now, Trev? We sound good. Yeah, we sound good. We sound fine. Good. That's what I mean. It's something with the board there. That was, Bones, and it sounds like when one speaker would die in my car. That is kind of what it sounded like. Something's going on with this board.
Or something submitted by a thief.
Yeah, it did sound
that
a little
type of quality,
didn't it? That was a little strange. We'll get that sorted out as we work our way through the show this morning. That was I couldn't tell if it was my
Wild
hearing
stuff, yeah.
or what. I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on right now. This is very strange. Very strange. I'll make a little switcheroo here, and we'll connect over to Trev's board as YouTube Trev locked and loaded over there. Hey, did you see this guy on Wall Stream yesterday?
Holy heck.
Holy
he signed my autograph when he showed up today as I asked for it.
You guys, a star is born. A star was born yesterday in the Wall Stream. If you missed it, YouTube Trev on the desk on short notice. And still nailed it.
Called up.
Still absolutely nailed it. Trev, I've connected to your board now. Let's see if let's just see if it sounds the same or if it sounds normal again. Same song. Here we go. What?
Ooh,
that didn't even play at all. That's not good.
I like the other one.
I like the other one.
Red kind of liked it.
What? Nobody liked that.
Thought it was remix, he said. He's gonna.
That's
he had time for it.
Yeah, that works. That sounded much better.
Box Pounder's headed to the muster point.
Is he?
I
mean, it's always a good idea. It's always a good idea. If
Straight
something
there.
goes down, straight to the muster point. Have you ever gone to a muster point?
Well, we did at the old. They had those
I mean,
mustard points, but
those are like fake.
Yeah, like you're talking a real life.
I'm talking like real
yeah.
emergency muster point.
I don't think I've ever had to muster at a point.
Me neither, not once. Just a lot of you who work like I don't know, like on site or out in Sherwood Park where all those smoke things are. You probably had to muster at some point.
Yeah.
Hey, probably big time mustering.
Tuesday muster stories. Why not?
Yeah, let's do that.
Nothing else to talk about.
Share your mustard story. Yeah, actually, we got a lot. This is a busy show today. I'm very excited for this. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers inbox. 22 stores, 4 provinces. They've got the exclusive Star Wars, Marvel wedding bands, jewelry. Brilliant. Shop in store or online at www.parisjewelers.com. The Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. What do we got? 2 days left for that employee pricing here in July. Save $18,000 on select models. How about that? www.southfortchev.com. Go see Daniel and his team at South Fort Chev. Tell them we sent you, and they're going to take care of you to the tune of 15% off accessories on your new ride. No big deal. Only at South Fort Chev, presenting sponsor of the Nielsen Show. Your text of the day today, of course, will win that A&W gift certificate. They got those frozen root beers on now. You buy one, you get one. Tough to beat that. Tough to beat that. Only with our partners at A&W. I will lay out the show for you here as we work our way through it. 780-218-9999 is where you can sign in. Library Pat says, that sounded weird, like an acoustic version. It was like there was only one channel open on that one. Yeah.
A couple things missing.
Doesn't surprise me. But here's the frustrating thing. See, there's this little board here, so we're like supposed to be able to play everything. And the last 3 mornings, we've had issues with it. Maddie comes in and goes on. He treats us like we're idiots. He's like, well, no, does he not? I mean, he's kind of like, well, nope, you guys just weren't doing it right. I said, I'm doing exactly what you're doing. Like, what are you talking about? Trev, you saw this yesterday. We're sitting here after the show, and he's looking at the board. He goes, nope, this is, mind you, he just plugs things in and unplugs them. It's not
and
like
then he gets it right.
He's really changing anything. The board is definitely screwed. Even on this fader yesterday, he's like, wow, somebody must have dropped this whole board, and it's broken. But he talks to us like we're idiots, and then we come in the next day, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah, he's kind of a wizard, and I hate to admit it because he's right a lot.
Yeah.
And he's right, and then I'm like, yeah, you're right again. But this time we're
Not
like,
this one.
no, this was something was fishy here, and he's like, no, you guys are just doing that. And it's like, no, there was, and he ended up kind of seeing the problem but in a matter of seconds he fixed it. But it's like something's going up with this board. I'm not as tech savvy as Maddie. But yeah, he treats us like we're idiots.
I know.
It's
he really
so
does.
rude, and it's
Always
just
Matt, we're humans.
Yeah.
We're humans too.
just simmer down. We're fine.
I'm going to file a complaint to HR Daddy and be like, you got to talk with a Wannick. He treats us like we're tech idiots.
Sensitivity training. Maybe. Hey?
Yeah. You know
3
what?
weeks.
Yeah, Matt.
Unpaid.
Where's a Wannick? He's at sensitivity training right now.
It's like he does anything else around here.
We've got Canada and Australia, a battle of 1-0s. Late in the first half, Australia leading the Canadian men's basketball team 47-43.
Rip City Step providing some commentary in the Paris Jewelers inbox this morning as well. Jamal Murray doesn't seem like himself. Tough whistles.
I know he hit a 3.
Canada looks out of sync. And he said he's had enough of Patty Mills.
I'm already describing this as the Josh Giddey game. Josh Giddey's got 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 2 3 balls. And Australia now up 47-43. So we'll keep tabs on that as we work our way through the show this morning. Speaking of basketball.
Well, not to be confused with the Brody Clark game last night. Hey,
Well, you know what? Brody Clark. Stingers game was amazing. We're going to have a video I took last night of the finish of this game. But Brody Clark took over in the fourth quarter, and I was just like, okay, well, Stingers got this. Then it gets to that Elam time. And I think the first whistle after – so it's always the first whistle after 4 minutes. They set the target score. Target score is 9 points higher than what the leading team has at that moment. I'm pretty sure the Stingers were leading 79-67. They were up 12 when we got to Elam time. So they had to get to 88. The Sea Bears, who only had 67 points, had to get to 88. And you're thinking, they got it on cruise control. Brody Clark kind of took over. He was great the entire game. At one point, they were up by 19. They were cruising. But he came out. It got a little bit close in the fourth quarter. And then they brought Brody Clark back off the bench. I think he had 6 straight points. A couple of great passes by Hornsby last night. Had a nice little behind the back. A couple great looks. And after he makes a great pass, he goes like this. With the goggles coming back down. I'm a big fan. If he looked up in the crowd after a second pass, he'd look at me, and I was like, let's go. So much fun at the Stingers game last night. So, but then at one point, the Sea Bears claw their way back, and we're actually leading 84-83.
28 fourth quarter points.
Holy smokes. So the drama down at the Hive, or whatever you want to call it, last night was absolutely outstanding. Ends up race to 88. It's 87-86 for the Stingers. They call a timeout. Trev, load this up. We'll give you the final play. They call a timeout. They've got the ball. It's 87-86. The Nielson family is on the edge of their seats. Marshall and Muzz had more fun at this basketball game than I think they've had at any sporting event their entire life. Like, they were fully invested. Marshall was all over the defense. Defense. He was just loving it. The Muzz could not get enough of the constant music.
Oh,
She
yeah.
didn't care what was going on. She was like dancing for 2.5 hours.
A little hip-hop variety.
She was absolutely loving it. And this, if you're listening online, you'll hear the crowd reaction. You'll know the pop. If you're watching over on YouTube, we'll give it to you right now. Let's take a look at the finish to this game and just watch how the crowd was just sold out last night at the X. It was terrific. Here's the finish. How awesome was that, man? Like, you could not have a good time at that game last night. Like, we love the Riverhawks. We go to Riverhawks games as often as we can, too. My kids had a way better time at the Stingers game last night than the Riverhawks. I think it's the sport. Like you said, like in baseball, there's no clock.
No.
You're just chilling. Like, the intensity late in that basketball game last night was just phenomenal.
And the Elan
stuff.
rule helps, too, with this league.
Yeah, I mean, well,
as you
unless
said, they're never gonna do it
unless
in
you
the,
bet on the Stingers minus 3.5, and they're up 19. They're up 12 when they hit Elam time. They were up 12 with less than 3 minutes to play. You're sitting there going, that 3.5 is going to be an easy cover, and then they storm back and they end up winning by 3. Damn, odds makers do it again, even in the CEBL. Absolutely brilliant, but. Just an absolutely tremendous crowd there last night. Damon Bunting, of course, was in the house, sitting courtside. He's like the Jack of
Actually, that's not bad.
right?
Yeah.
You know, like at Lakers games. Jack Nicholson down there. That's Damon Bunting. Damon
Mascot
Bunting
light type of deal.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
just chilling.
Joined by a few other people every.
Down on the floor after the game.
Great crowd, too.
Getting
Just
the autographs.
A little shy of 5K, I think.
Sold
was
out.
the
Sold out
official.
crowd. It was they had 4 sold out crowds of their 10 home games this year. They have a playoff game at home Sunday night. I think it's 6:00. Maybe the best part about all of this, though, is that Mark Majot, one of our good buddies, was on the call last night right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We had this game last night, so hopefully you were listening. Mark Majot, Paul Sir, had the call last night, and it was phenomenal. Bumped into Norman at Combine. He was there with old Sticky Rice. They won those tickets at the EST Golf Classic, so they were excited to be there. Bumped into Bones. I saw somebody wearing an Edmonton Sports Talk hat walking along there. I looked at Tam and said, I gotta go talk to this person. And then sure enough, it was Bones. I'm like, Bones, what's up? Wearing a great Stingers sweater. Just really, if you have not been to a basketball game yet, go. Every time I go to like 2 Stingers games a year, schedule-wise works. Phenomenal experience. You're going to absolutely love it.
Well, as you mentioned, though, too.
Let's sell out that playoff
quick
game
season, though. Yeah, playoff game Sunday.
Only
but
10 home games.
Yeah. Same as the Riverhawks, right?
Yeah,
Get 'em in
Riverhawks
while you
get a few
can.
more, but you got to enjoy the season. They're very short seasons, so you got. It's like the farmers say, "Make hay while the sun's shining," and that's what you have to do with these later schedules. Well, let's lay out the thing for you here. We got morning announcements coming up for 100.3 The Bear. Trey Ford apparently is going to start, according to Farhan Banya. Thinks I still owe him a meal. Unbelievable, this guy. Leon Draisaitl. I think Stoff took a piss yesterday, and the Cult of Hockey wrote about it. It's like, Stoff urinates this afternoon. Does that mean Draisaitl's close? Holy smokes.
He saw an 8 in there.
Get off of his, you know what? Like, my goodness. Anyway, Leon Draisaitl, is he close? Yeah, he'll get this. Breaking news. Draisaitl wants the longest term with probably the most money you can get.
What?
Yeah, can you believe it?
I had him down as a 2-year deal.
Nope. Playing the highest paid player in the
Amazing.
Here's your breaking news. Draisaitl's going to sign an 8-year deal, become the highest paid player in the league. Done. Lock it in. It's tough to
You
do,
should
isn't
tweet
it?
that.
It's tough to do. That's what's going to happen. He's going to get what's the highest paid player right now? 13.25, something like that.
Yeah.
I did the math on it yesterday. 107 million would be 13.375, which would make him the highest paid player in the National Hockey League. That's what's going to happen. I'd be stunned if it's anything else. So we'll get to that coming up here. Trey Ford, we'll get into that conversation. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Matt Dunigan is going to pop by just after 7 o'clock this morning. How exciting is this? Matt Dunigan, live on the show, talking CFL quarterbacks. We'll get his thoughts on them throwing Trey Ford into the fire. Best defense in the league. You're 0-7. Riders looking to bounce back off a win. Trey Ford staring down Corey Mace, head coach and defensive coordinator of the Riders. If he can pull it off. Now, with that being said, if they lose, at least they're losing with the guy that you want to see at quarterback.
Yeah.
So,
Hell of a challenge.
yeah, you got that going for you. So Matt Dunigan will join us just after 7 o'clock today. CoolBet hotline of the day. We'll dive into that around 7:20. Of course, CoolBet, our official betting partner here at Edmonton Sports Talk. If you've not yet signed up for an account at CoolBet, you can do so. CoolBet.com. Sign up for an account. Use the code LOCKSHOP, all one word, when you do, and you get 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit. Weekly confessions coming up just after 7:30 today. I kind of a little bit like, oh, didn't know I wasn't doing that yet. We'll get to that. That was my confession.
What?
It's an Edmonton Sports Talk related confession. I feel bad.
Interesting.
I feel bad actually in this one, but I'll lay it out at 7:30. It relates to Zacticum. We'll go there at 7:30 today. My confession. Trevor thinks he knows what it is. Whispered off the no.
What is it?
No. You're driving like something with his vehicle? No, it's something else. At 7:45 today, we will have the premiere of the interview. Little video we put together as I sat down, stared Reed Wilkins in the face, and interviewed the man to find out if he was indeed the right person to head up the Reed Wilkins show.
It's about 40 minutes, right? We'll do that
Yeah.
hour 3.
It's pretty much the whole thing. I don't know, Trev, how long did that end up being when it was all said and done?
3 minutes and 45 seconds.
It still took 3 minutes and 45 seconds?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't think the script was that long.
Yeah.
Man, we had a lot of fun with it, though. You're going to like this. That's coming up at 7:45 today. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for the great staff at Park Mazda. That hurts for SB-LLP.com. That's SBLLP, your personal injury lawyers. And Gager's going to join us. We'll talk F1 movement. Oh, baby. 8:30 today. Looks like Danny Rick is. Some people were speculating that Danny Rick was going to join Red Bull. They were going to chuck Checo during the summer break here. But it looks like Danny Rick's going to stay just right where he is. But we'll get into that with Gage.
Signs to Williams as well. Maybe his thoughts on that, eh?
Yeah, we'll definitely get his thoughts on
That's a
that. That's
huge
probably the
one.
only reason he wants to join us today. The wrap for William Huff still to come as we work our way through the show this morning as well. Let's see here. Let's get into your morning announcements today for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. UConn this morning. Usually UConn and McCord every single morning, and our wonderful Jess Jackson on the way home every single afternoon. Saw UConn's family last night, actually, at the Stingers game.
Love it.
Yeah, his wife, and his 2 boys, and they're big. That's a huge basketball family.
Oh, yeah.
UConn. I said, "Where's your husband?"
Yeah.
And his wife says, he said it was too late on a Monday night.
You're there.
I'm up.
You guys were just
I'm
talking.
up this
You're
morning.
Both up.
Too late on a Monday night.
Ooh.
Literally, now if you stayed for autographs and stuff like we did, I will admit, it was a late night for the kids, not for me. I'm an adult. I'm a man.
Sounds
I
like
can stay up late.
you've taken the basketball family from
I
old
don't know.
Browns there.
Who's a more dedicated basketball family?
I'd say
The
so.
one that goes to the game as an entire family, or the one that goes to the game without their daddy and husband? Tough look, Uke. Tough look. But yeah, it was good seeing. I hadn't seen his wife in a while. I hadn't seen his boys in a while. They were all down on the floor getting autographs after the game. Everybody's walking around trying to get autographs of the players. I'm looking around trying to get Bunting's autograph. Said, "Where's that local slumlord? Where's that local slumlord?"
As Nacho Man says, Paris Jewelers Inbox Damon is Spike Lee.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
exactly.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
the Spike Lee of the Edmonton Stingers.
Spike, where are you?
100%, man. He was wearing Did I not say yesterday on the show I had to go get new shoes because I know Damon Bunting will be wearing great shoes?
Hell of a drip.
I guess what he was wearing? Like a really nice pair of white Nikes with like an orange swoosh.
Do you have one of those
Just like
classic
real
Bunting
nice.
sweaters on?
No,
too,
just
or
a T-shirt.
Oh, I love it.
Just
Oh,
a
okay.
T-shirt and jeans and real nice kicks, as they say. When you got the swag, when you got the drip, your shoes are called kicks. I was wearing Skechers. It's not as good of a look, but I'll tell you, I was very comfortable.
You could have been at a basketball game or a meeting.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the only way I got today. This is another pair of Skechers. These ones are nice. They're
Beautiful.
very loosey goosey. If we lived by a beach, these would be shoes I could wear on the beach a little bit. That's how I view it.
So I view it.
That's a good stretch, actually.
What is it? Is
They're
this
stretching
leather,
the calf. Nope.
Lacing here?
No,
What is-
they don't. Look, they're not as fancy as they look from afar. I'll say that. These are like the cheaper Sketcher ones,
The bottoms are beautiful.
but they're so comfy. I just love them. That's what I want. I want to sign a 10-year deal with Skechers. Somebody needs to make that happen, I think. All right, let's get into your morning announcements here. A few things to get to. Trey Ford, we'll have more reaction on this as we work our way through the hour. Obviously, we'll get into it with Dunigan, who is making it. Have you had Dunigan on when I haven't been on?
No, I
This is EST
put
debut.
out a few requests, but I think this is his EST debut.
EST debut for Matty Dunigan coming up. Ready, set, hot.
Ready?
He signs
I
every
am
text and
obsessed with
email
that.
with ready, set, hot. The best. Ready.set.hot.
But even when it's like not, like, hey, did you take out the garbage? You know, like,
Garbage
yeah, I
is
did,
done. Ready, set, hot.
Anything. Like,
He's a legend. Dunigan's an absolute legend. And, I mean, the energy that guy brings to the booth, even I'm like, man, I got to crank it up a notch. And I usually lead the way in the energy department, but Matty's
and
an
I know
animal.
you've been on the conquest of getting the fantasy with Randy Ambrosi. If you get Dunigan back to like the barbecuing bits and segments and something like that,
Real nice. I'm very curious on who's making the decision that Trey Ford's starting. Because I don't necessarily know if it's Jarius Jackson. I think Rick Lawlisher might be dropping the bomb.
He
the
mentioned
hammer
it
here.
when he was on the
Remember
show.
when he was on with us?
The
and
only
was
thing he
just like-
said football ops-wise was he had to talk about the quarterbacks. Other than
And-
that, he's staying out of it. So
And I mean, they were very reluctant to put Trey in when they could have easily put him in at halftime. Jarius Jackson comes out, tells Tommy, we're sticking with MBT. I would not be surprised if Rick went to G-Roy and Jarius this week and said, you're starting Trey Ford. Like, they need a way to reconnect with fans. If Trey Ford, look, they're 0-7. They're not building a winner this year.
yeah,
Could they somehow go on a miraculous run in the final 2/3 of the season and sneak into the playoffs? Yeah, it's possible. Could they do it with MBT? Maybe. But if you're going to continue to lose, you might as well at least lose with Trey Ford at quarterback because he'll provide you with some moments. So I don't know. I mean, heard some things yesterday from around the organization that people weren't overly confident that it was an automatic thing that it was going to be Trey Ford. And then Farhan tweets last night that it is going to be Trey Ford. I'm not sure it's just not right from the interim president being like, play this guy, play this kid, and let's see what
nothing to lose. Let's have a good time, right?
I mean, he's getting thrown straight into the fire against the Riders D, but
Heck of a
if you can
challenge.
survive that one,
Yeah.
then probably can survive most defenses in the Canadian Football League. He might not survive it, but if he does, then that's something positive, I think, moving forward. The Toronto Blue Jays continue to tear it apart. Kikuchi on the way to the Astros, Turner to the Mariners. I actually don't mind what they got in return for Kikuchi. Like, they actually did some okay work with Kikuchi. They got the number 2 prospect in the Astros organization.
Yep.
They got the number 5 prospect in the Astros organization. Both of those guys already have Major League Baseball experience. So those are 2 guys that you can probably slot in at least for next season. Middle of the rotation expectations on Jake Bloss, who's had, if you go look at his numbers from the minors this year, Terrific stuff.
Started in high A, I think.
And he's moved his way
He
up.
moved his way,
And
so
his numbers are ridiculous. So Jake Bloss is the right-handed pitcher they got. He was about to be announced as the number 2 prospect in the Astros organization, according to MLB.com. And then a first baseman / outfielder in Joey Luperfido. Luperfido?
Also rated high in
I
their
think
system.
Luperfido sounds real nice. Yeah, he was their number 5 prospect.
You could have argued Bloss was enough, really. Giving the Jays a little credit here.
I mean, if you're landing an organization's 2nd and 5th best prospects for Kikuchi
at a deadline, when you're not.
I mean, I think you're probably pretty. Like that's by far. Now Kikuchi's also by far the most valuable piece that they've traded. Nothing against Danny Jansen and Turner and some of these other guys that they moved, but Kikuchi should bring back a pretty decent return, and I think they got a good one from the Astros.
You mentioned Bloss though and Luperfido, also utility man Will Wagner. And that's where that's where the old EST home run song ears light up as well. A guy that maybe isn't mentioned so much, but might get onto the team and swack 4, hey? And we can have that's the guy that I'm pulling for, the Dalton Varsho type. You know, anytime I see utility man,
Dalton Varsho,
give me the Wagner jersey today.
That's what you want. Classic,
please,
classic utility guy.
Love the utility guy.
This is always something you hear with a utility guy. Doesn't have a lot of power, but sprays it around the field.
And a cool mustache.
Isn't that a good one? Yeah. Sprays it around. He likes to spray it around a little bit. That's all you're looking for in one of those guys.
Utility guy,
Just spray it around a little bit, and everything will be all right. Everything's gonna be okay. Quick shout out here as we're talking a little bit of a little baseball on the show this morning. Godfather texted me over the weekend. My nephew Tanner won provincials this week and was named the MVP of the weekend.
MVP.
Baseball provincials.
Provincial winning weekend.
Yeah, baseball provincials. His team from up here in Edmonton went down south and won provincials, and he was named MVP of the weekend. Shout out to the Tan Man, who always calls me Uncle Fathead.
Give him a conch.
But, a conch for Tanner and his provincial championship team. You've done it again, Awanik. Yeah, that's not coming through there. All right, good to know.
Good reason, though, to miss the Nasty Bash, I'd say, hey? MVP, provincials.
Yeah. You got the conch over there, Trev? Yeah, go there.
Yeah,
give it to me. Real nice. Real nice. I think I do have it kicking around on this bad boy as well, as we'll work our way through the show this morning. If you need a conch today, hit us up, 780-218-9999. Let me test this. Back, baby. What's that from the hanger? We are back. We are so back. That's what it is right now. All right, we got a sports update with Lieutenant Eric on the other side. Your thoughts on Trey Ford getting the ball? Does it make Trey Ford starts against the Riders? Are you buying tickets to their August 11th home game? Because I know some of you have said
that was the deal.
Some of you said
was the deal.
I'm not buying tickets again until they go to Trey Ford. Well, they've gone to Trey Ford. Get your tickets today. Get your tickets here. We'll get into that. And Leon Draisaitl, is he about to sign the most obvious contract that you could possibly sign? Find out as we continue to sit in wait mode.
You've got the numbers. Keep saying that. I've got the numbers.
Highest paid player in the league, 8-year term. Boom.
This guy's got the numbers.
Done. 6/31, July, whatever it is. Lock it in. Breaking.
Slowly release the numbers as the show goes on.
Yeah, it starts. You know what? Draisaitl's contract is going to end in 0-0-0. That's exciting. All right. It's 0-0-0.00.
Sure.
I've already got it to five places.
Unreal.
Let's get to a sports update with Lieutenant Eric.
Last night on Edmonton Sports Talk, Brody Clark became the Stingers' franchise leader in scoring. He had 17 in an 89-86 win over the Winnipeg Sea Bears. Elijah Miller and Nick Hornsby would add a combined 38 points, while the team also recorded 12 steals. Stingers finished the regular season second in the West, 13-7. They'll host the Western Conference semifinals on Sunday. Riverhawks baseball returns to Edmonton Sports Talk tonight. The club end the regular season on a 9-game road trip beginning tonight in Victoria. Coverage begins at 7:30. Prospects also back in action. They'll host the Bombers tonight out Sherwood Park's Centennial Field 9. Blue Jays splitting yesterday's doubleheader down in Baltimore, but it was off the diamond where the action was as Yusei Kikuchi shipped to Houston in exchange for righty Jake Bloss, outfielder Joey Luperfido, and utility man Will Wagner. Justin Turner also dealt to the Mariners earlier in the day. Series will continue with the Orioles later this afternoon. Chris Bassett starts first pitch 4:35. Over to the Paris Games, Canada taking on Australia in men's basketball. Current score 49-45 for the Aussies at the half. Later today, Canadian women's rugby sevens will face Australia in semifinals action. That gets underway at 8. Canadian women's 3-on-3 basketball team will face Australia at 10. And after receiving a 6-point deduction following DroneGate, the women's soccer team will battle Colombia tomorrow afternoon with a chance to advance to the quarterfinals. And according to TSN's Farhan Lalji, the Elks will start Trey Ford at quarterback for their Week 9 visit to Saskatchewan. That game Saturday at 5. Week 9 kicking off in Winnipeg Thursday between the Lions and Blue Bombers.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all at the back end. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Captain can gauge it. Maybe it's but a cool bed to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramella, Rapapo, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving present, does he go for? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, there's nothing you can do about it. Jonty and Victoria said so, didn't he? 6:35 on the Nielsen Show, presented to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Check them out, www.southfortchev.com. We are coming in from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. You might as well make plans right now, right? If you run a place, a business, and you have employees, and they're like, I forgot my lunch today. Do you know how much of a hero you could be if you're like, guess what? I'm going to go buy so many boneless wings from Popeyes. They come in so many delicious flavors, and we're going to deliver those to the workplace today. Got to be pretty happy with that. Have to be happy with that.
Be the hero.
So make it happen. That's a good one. Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. Be the hero. That's a real nice way to do it. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. I'll get you in the Paris Jewelers inbox today, and we'll get to a few of those. Rip City Step trying to keep us up to date on this basketball game. I've got the live ticker here on ESPN.
Oh, okay,
it's
good.
great. And foul on Dylan Brooks is what it said happened last.
Oh, boy, you are live.
58-54, Canada leads. SGA is 6 of 7 for 12 points. All I can think of is that you got to get him a few more looks. Dylan Brooks, the nemesis, 3 of 6 for 11 points. The Josh Giddey game continues. He's up to 18, 3 of 5 from deep. Dwight Powell made layup, assist by R.J. Barrett. I'm going to just keep reading this off. This is it.
At the old place, we couldn't even say the name of the
that's true.
Rules and everything.
Foul on Lou Dort. This is terrific stuff.
Riveting,
Is this what you guys want?
This
I'll
is
just
what you
sit here and read the play-by-play from Canada, Australia. Canada has outscored them 15-5 midway through the third quarter. So nice start to the second half for Canada. Wake-up call at halftime. Greece losing earlier today to Spain. So Spain with the win there, they go to 1-1. Greece is 0-2. Canada and Australia are both 1-0.
Yeah, this would be huge.
And, this would be a big one.
This
would be a big one.
Group of death.
This puts you in control in the group of death, which is real nice. Morgan is in this morning. He says, guys, the Elks would have won that game if Trey Ford started the second. You think so?
Well,
It's a little bit different going in when it's 21-8 as opposed to 41-8. But what do you think?
Hindsight is weird, and especially at that point. It's close. You mentioned at the half, but Bo, I mean, again, football, 3 phases. Bo was picking apart that defense and didn't really look like it was stopping. So, but again, maybe Trey's on the field. Maybe he leads a few more drives and allows that defense to get a bit of reprieve in that third, to which I think what the Elks spent 14 minutes and 50 seconds on the field during the third quarter. So maybe there's something there as well. Yeah, winning, whatever, but at least he would have made it maybe a game and kept it a little more tight, and certainly for your entertainment value, showed up a bit more. So there's something there. Again, it's not a quarterback issue that this team is 0-7, but I think at this stage people just want to see a change. The defense is another story. Special teams as well. Blocked punt as well in that game. But yeah, you could argue that it would have been maybe closer. Game changes shape a bit differently, but as I said, that defense on for the entire third quarter, maybe Trey has a bit to do with that as well.
Well, exactly.
They need to get off the field, but
it changes things.
It's one of two, but
I know it's really weird depending on who you talk to. Trey Ford did look great, but then you also have straight up garbage time, Ticats. However, it's not like he went in garbage time and threw for 50 yards and had 1 touchdown. I mean, he went in and threw for over 120 yards and 3 touchdowns in like 10 minutes.
And stylistically,
yeah,
that's not garbage time. The way he was playing, I mean, that's just not whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's what you expect from him. That's his athleticism. But yeah, you can argue teams relax, let you put up points, whatever, or yards or statistics. But the way he was playing, the way he was orchestrating and moving that offense around, that garbage time or whatever.
Yeah, because I've seen some people yesterday say, well, you can literally take nothing from his performance against the Ticats. I don't think that's fair. I think you saw his elusiveness. I think you saw his ability to run the ball. Had the Ticats, there's at least 2, if not 3 plays where the Ticats just simply couldn't catch him. And I think I'm reading into it a little bit more than everyone else. And then when he goes up against the Ticats or the Riders defense, I told you this. This just in. The Riders defense is not the Ticats defense. Even in non-garbage time, the Ticats defense is meh. The Riders defense is full of game changers. So I know there's going to be people who are going to go, see, against the Ticats, it didn't mean anything. And totally gloss over the fact that he's going to be starting his first game against the best bloody defense in the entire league.
But sticking on this, what does mean something, and I thought for sure that McLeod Bethel-Thompson, albeit starting out the season pretty good statistics-wise, dropping off in the past few weeks, this was a chance to right the ship offensively.
Yeah.
And with what he did, I mean, if you can't do that against the Hamilton's defense, specifically their secondary, sorry. That's...
You're not starting this. I brought this up with Huss yesterday on the Lock Shop. You're not starting Trey Ford this week because he torched the Ticats in the final 10 minutes. You're starting Trey Ford this week because McLeod Bethel-Thompson has not thrown a touchdown pass in his last 7 quarters, and this just in, he's 0-7 as your starter. That's why you're starting Trey Ford. Hell, even if Trey Ford wasn't there, you might start Dakota Prukop this week with the way that MBT has played lately. So,
but if you were leading, if MBT, if that type of offense goes into Regina, I mean, you're going to get eaten alive by that defense. That's the whole thing. That's the and 41-8. Sorry, but it was all garbage time. Yeah, we know it was garbage time, but again, not so much as you pointed out, not so much Trey's play alone, but the fact MBT couldn't engineer anything against one of the more porous defenses in the league.
Smitty the Welder says 41-8. Sorry, but it was all garbage time.
No.
Yeah. That's what we just said. But did you not? Smitty, did you watch the game? I know some people might just come in with a hot take after seeing the score of the game. Did you watch the game? The Ticats were trying to take this guy down. They couldn't. Simple as that. So, yeah. Final 10 minutes of a blowout against the Ticats is one thing. He's going from one of the most ideal situations to maybe the most difficult situation in the but somebody texted me yesterday and goes, Dusty, what do you think the fan base in Edmonton will be like after they lose to the Riders 30-12? And all I could say was, well, it's still better than losing with McLeod Bethel-Thompson when he's 0-7. You know what I mean? I think you'd rather lose to the Riders with Trey at quarterback than lose to the Riders and go to 0-8 with MBT at quarterback.
Well, you'd also take that loss with Trey as opposed to getting hammered at home by the Ticats, right? The Riders are as advertised, I think, especially the defense. Hamilton, and again, I said MBT, that's a game for him. He could have got back on track playing that defense. Also, and I know a lot of people want to see Ford start against the Ticats at home, but if he had that whole game against that defense, who's to say? So if he goes out and starts in Regina and it's not the best outing, well, whatever. But the fact that you couldn't do it against Hamilton, that's the bigger issue.
Okay, now here's the thing, though. If he goes out against the Riders, and if you've followed the Canadian Football League this year, you know what we're talking about with the Riders' defense. Outstanding. If he goes out against the Riders and they score 1 touchdown, Beatty hits a field goal, misses 2, and they lose 24-10, does MBT start against BC next week? Like, is the only shot they're going to give Trey Ford against the best defense in the entire Canadian Football League?
It can't be. You'd hope
right?
it's not. You'd hope
that
it's
would be
not
a very weird way. Mind you, it would be on course for how they've handled Trey.
Yeah, but again, at 0-7, I don't think you're expecting too much. But individually, you want to see him succeed and you want to see him grow. But regardless if they come back with 2 points or not, I think you look at his play and you look at how, again, the offense runs. Is he keeping the defense off the field? Sustaining drives and all that. That's what you want. It's not necessarily the 2 points. But yeah, if you can't do it against Hamilton, and nothing against Bo Levi and all that, but that was the one. That was the gift at home.
Look, McCall Bethel Thompson just lost 3. Well, he's lost 7 in a row, but he just lost 3 in a row to Ottawa and Hamilton. Okay? Unacceptable. Prior to that win over Calgary, Ottawa had only beat teams that suck.
You needed those, yeah. Those are the ones, yeah.
So this is a completely justified move. I'm very interested to see, and we'll ask Matt Dunigan this when Matty joins us just after 7 o'clock. If Trey Ford doesn't impress at all in any way and looks overwhelmed against the Riders' defense, you got to let him ride it now? You got to go with this guy for 3, 4, 5 weeks? Or can you put him in for a game and go, got to go back to the veteran against the BC Lions for what will likely end up being another loss?
Two tough weeks, yeah.
Yeah, these are not ideal starts for whoever gets them. But it would be the most Trey Ford handling by the Elks ever to roll him out for like the start against the Riders, tied for first in the West, and then the next week he gets the Lions, tied for first in the West, and they go, well, had a couple of cracks at it. We're going to put MBT back in there against Hamilton again. I don't know. I'm very fascinated to see how they handle this moving forward because I don't think it's as simple as he's the guy now.
If they're down a deficit at the half, do they make a quarterback change to go back to MBT for a half? Can you imagine that? Down about 20, say it's 20-10 at the half. I mean, you wanted the change last week at the half with the game in the balance. And if they're being kind of told to start Trey, if they're down by 10 at the half, do they go back to old faithful MBT? Like, wouldn't that be something? You make that change at the half this week. You don't do it last week. I wouldn't be surprised. The messaging and all that is not clear. And you mentioned earlier today, Rick Lawlisher came on the show. The one football thing he mentioned that he was going to get someone involved in is the quarterback thing. And this all kind of makes sense now. So just give us Trey.
Now you're going to get him.
Maddie's right again.
We'll see what happens. Morgan is in and says, case in point, the Elks O-line is awful. MBT is a pocket QB who has issues making quick decisions. He panics. Trey can scramble when the line lets him down and can scramble to make a play. I mean, that is...
MBT would fit perfectly here if they had a line. And you have a good running back. You get a running game going. You have great receivers. Like, this roster isn't fully trash. I think they have some playmakers on the offensive side. But with no protection, and you've got a static quarterback who can't move and is only in the pocket and needs to get rid of that thing quick, it's a recipe for disaster. At least Trey was moving the line around, so it's not all on their shoulders.
780-218-9999. Stu Pedasso is in and says, I was at the game and it was boring as bleep till Ford went in. At this point, as an Elk fan, I just want a little excitement. That's all you're asking for. I don't think that's asking too much. So we'll see. What if he goes out there and runs all over, and they get Kevin Brown going because teams have to respect Trey Ford's ability to run? What if he goes out there and leads them to a victory against the Riders?
Very fascinating. And again, nothing really to lose right now.
Last organizational win, they've lost 11 in a row. Last win was actually against the Riders with Trey Ford at quarterback. What was it, like 37-20? It was a high-scoring game, but that was a different Riders team. This Riders
Sounds like an
team,
exciting game.
Yeah, that was an exciting game. This Riders team is a lot different than last year's team. If you know how everybody, I think sometimes we overrate there'll be a cultural shift with this staff in, or a cultural shift with this and that.
Oh, you feel it. You've been there. You can get the vibe. Yeah.
Corey Mace, and I loved Craig Dickinson. All-time nice guy.
Great guy.
All-time nice guy, working with his brother now.
Good coordinator, yeah.
But things are different with Corey Mace there as head coach and defensive coordinator, man.
And it's happened in various markets, right? The latest one being in Regina, but how much it stinks down at Commonwealth right now, that can all get switched very, very quickly with the right personnel.
Couple of text messages in on this one. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Worst thing about Trey Ford situation is Maddie being right.
I think that's where we're all struggling to kind of get to here.
I see Lucas is into it. It says, with Trey Ford starting, how impressed are you with Maddie being right again?
That's the main thing.
Get out of here, Lucas.
Well, he's all fat and happy because he picked him up a couple weeks back, eh? He's
Trey
had
Ford?
oh, yeah.
No, he's done. Yeah, how are you guys? So Lucas, Eric's brother, Whale and the Wolf, he's 8-0, and you guys let him stash Trey Ford?
Nobody let him do anything. He did it. He did it weeks ago. It was a nice plan, but
Lucas,
he's reaping that now. 8-0, the Texans followed close behind at 3-5 by the Gold Miners and Pirates. No. I'm a game back of them at 2-6. The Mad Dogs.
It's 8-0, and then 3-5, 3-5, and 2-6.
All you got to do is get in the dance. That's fine. He can go the regular season undefeated. You get to that postseason week where your team has a bye, you're done.
Congratulations,
Lucas.
Lucas.
It's really good. A lot of luck.
Phenomenal start. And now he can run out Trey Ford at his Canadian spot and still start his quarterback.
He can. How beneficial that will be to him on the stats page, we'll see. But
who's his Canadian right now? Who's even starting Canadian?
Philpott.
Oh, stacked team. Stacked team.
It's pretty good.
I have had Trey Ford. Lucas, like you, I've had Trey Ford on my bench all year. 6-man league. Didn't want to drop him. And
you don't need a quarterback, right? Yeah.
I have Jake Mayer.
Yeah.
Jake Mayer's very hit and miss, but I'll still be starting 2.
Yeah.
I'll still roll out Jake Mayer. I've been running Dembski in my Canadian spot all year. He's got a case of fumbleitis right now.
You'll usually make up the points as opposed to having a kicker or somebody else in there. But.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'll be running dual quarterbacks here for a little bit as we work our way through the show this morning. Man, we're almost changing 100 already, 6 o'clock hour. What is this, the playoffs?
Dunigan is on today. So.
Maybe that's what it is. 12 more likes to change 100 here in the 6 o'clock hour. Let's hammer the thumbs up over there. And we are almost to 9,600 subs. We're less than 20 subs away from 9,600 on the huge push to 10K before our 1-year anniversary here at Edmonton Sports Talk. I like this one. I want to get to this. I'm not afraid to address anything here. We have nobody to answer to over here. So 10 Hitchcock says, hey, let's get Stauffer on the show. Oh, wait, Dusty's mocking him like a clown. Keep on with those weak peg notice sources. I love this. This is
wow.
This is real nice right now.
10 Hitchcock over the top rope.
First of all, I wasn't mocking Stauf. I was mocking the cult of hockey for literally writing an article about anything Stauf says at any moment in his life. Yeah. Stauf could go to West Edmonton Mall. Staples would be like, Bob Stauffer spotted at West Edmonton Mall. Is there an old-time photo coming to celebrate the Draisaitl contract?
I do think, though, Hitchcock probably has a better relationship with Bob than you do.
Well,
so he
we
would
also
know.
have an open invite. Stauf wants to come on the show. We want Stauf on the show. OEG won't allow Stauf on the show. So...
But we all talk.
There you go.
There's not like a. It's not.
Yeah,
like
it's not like.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it'll be okay.
I'm not saying anything that isn't true.
Yeah.
So I'm not making anything up.
Bob's a big boy.
Let's change 100. Let's change 100. Let's
Changing
do it.
100.
Oh, gotta love it. Got to love it. 780-218-9999. We are early in the fourth quarter. Canada leading Australia 74-70 at the Olympic men's basketball
Australia
tournament.
coming on there late in the third as well, kind of shoring it up a bit.
RJ Barrett having a nice tournament so far. He was over 20 points in the first game. He's already at 20 points with 9:01 to go. Will we get a finish like we had at the Stingers game last night?
Do they have the Elam for the Olympic?
That-
More of that, please.
The Elam is interesting.
For every sport.
So you set the target score, and no matter what, you get a game-winning shot, right? Whether they're up by 12 when it's all said and done, you know the game-winning shot's coming, and when they score, the whole place can erupt. Very cool. And I like it. I really like it for Stingers games. I don't think I'd want to see it in the NBA, though. But I love it for Stingers games. I'd be disappointed if they ever took it away from the Stingers games. But I don't know if I'd like to see it at the NBA level. I mean, if you've been to a Stingers game, you know, if you're one of those people who actually check out all the sports in town and not just Oilers, give me your thoughts on that. I like the way it finishes, man. I think it's.
What did you? Can I
think
just
it's
ask
pretty
quickly?
entertaining.
Drinks, food. What did you imbibe? The merch booth. You get anything? Pick anything up there last night? I mean, you had the kids in tow. There's got to be a few bags.
Kids, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I always joke that Tammy's the biggest sucker. Because, like, she'll take them out, and Marshall will be like, we had ice cream today. It's like, you get whatever you want, you little jerks. But then I'm probably the biggest
Night out with
sucker.
Daddy, though, yeah.
I'm probably the biggest sucker. We get there last night, and, like, as we're walking in, Marshall eyes up the merch table. And they've got I saw they had a huge bin of Stingers basketballs, but they only had one on the table. And so we walk by, we get to our seats. Marshall looks at me and goes, hey, Daddy, I think there's only one basketball left at that table. I was just like, well,
Smart man.
I think there's probably more. He goes, I only saw one on the table.
Yeah.
Do you think we could go back and get it? I was like, nah, we probably don't need another basketball. We don't even have that hoop in the driveway like I would like.
Yeah. Yes.
So then, end of the first quarter, we pop out. They wanted a Slurpee or something, some popcorn. So we're out there, and I see we walk by a table again. There's still just that one ball sitting there. Like, literally, from you to me away, there are people just pumping up multiple balls. I was just, Marshall goes, Daddy, that ball's still there. I said, yeah, well, we'll see. Even I know deep down inside I was going to get him the ball because I kind of wanted the ball.
Sure.
I was just like, I kind of wanted that Stingers ball.
you're not
so
showing your hand.
I'll pass it
Just-
off.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, oh, I'll get you that for you, son. But I was just like, I want to get it. I want to dribble it on the floor after the game. It'd be a lot of fun.
Now, do you think Marshall in his innocence just thought that was, or did he know? Like,
Well, I gave him
this
the-
is the game. He knows, like, oh,
I
Daddy.
gave him the gears a little bit. So he gets his Slurpee, and we're walking. Oh, it's nice there because you can go out into the hall, and they got like the little food court there.
It's a great
So you go
concourse.
pick it up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
real nice. Tons of room.
Yeah.
Lines weren't crazy long, and that was a sold-out crowd. It was pretty good. So he gets a Slurpee, and we start walking back towards going back into the actual the stadium, and he starts walking over towards the merch table, and he goes, I said, "Okay, bud, let's go back in." He goes, "Oh, okay." We start walking back in, and I say, all right, you want a basketball? He said, "Oh, I'd love a basketball, Daddy. Thanks." I was just like, so we went over, we got the basketball. And I wasn't going to get 2 basketballs. I was just like, I'll get a basketball for you. You guys can share it. You know how sharing goes with kids, right? So we're at the table. He's getting his basketball. And the Muzz, you damn Stingers, with kids merch, the Muzz spots a kazoo. Like
A
the
Stingers
humming thing.
kazoo?
Like, it's not like super loud. It like hums. It sounds, like a bzz kind of thing. And what am I going to do? I'm going to get him a basketball. I'm not going to get her a kazoo. So I had to get her a kazoo. So she got a kazoo. He got a basketball. And they absolutely love the experience. Stingers win again in the pocketbook.
Stingers won.
However,
Dusty nil.
I will say this. Tammy came back after getting a couple popcorns, sat down, and she goes, things are cheap here. I said, why? She goes, those popcorns were $2.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like the popcorn was, and it's not a huge bag of popcorn, but it's a bag for a kid. And it was just $2.
Would you have a couple dogs or anything? Or?
I didn't have anything.
No? Okay, good
kind of
for you.
regretted it.
Yeah.
I was kind of hungry when I got home.
Yeah, it's
But-
decent and a good price point, as you
Yeah,
mentioned. Yeah.
I should have had a dog, but you know what I did order? I thought I got a spiced rum, but she gave me dark rum. I suffered through it because I wasn't going to waste like a
sipper.
$14 rum or something like that. But I even said to her when she was pouring, I said, "Is that spiced rum?" She goes, "It's rum."
It's right.
I saw Captain's Morgan sitting right there, but I
It's
didn't
rum.
want to. I was just like, well, I guess I'm just having dark rum.
I love you sipping dark rum courtside at a basketball game.
Yeah,
That's a vibe. In your Skechers, like
Man. Dark rum is not my drink, man. That was tough. Norman at Combine says $20 for the balls. Yeah, it was $20. $20 for the ball, $15 for the kazoo. The kazoo will probably last like 3 days and then fall apart. Basketball should last for a while.
Should,
It's
yeah.
a nice ball. Nice ball.
Like an official size? We talking a mini?
Junior
Like this?
ball.
Like, okay, yeah.
I could grip it.
Perfect.
I walked back into where the game was
You
going on,
were-
and I had it like this. Like walked past everybody. I was like, check it out. Palming this basketball right now.
Sipping your dark
Spun it
rum.
on my finger a little bit. I was just like, now who's playing?
Oh,
I can't spin it on my finger great, but I can get it up there a little bit.
Long enough to
I was watching the U.S. Olympic. They were doing it. Steph Curry can't spin a basketball on his finger. How weird is that? Dude's a magician with a basketball. Can't spin it on his finger.
It was very weird.
Did you
'cause
see
he's
that
got-
video
he's got
too?
great handles, right? You'd
Yeah.
think he'd be the one that could do it for
Yeah.
sure out of everyone. I think Joel Embiid was the other.
Embiid really couldn't do it. Yeah, you're right. It was Embiid.
And Curry were
And
the
Curry.
only two, which
Yeah.
is just crazy.
Some of those guys, my dad could do it really well when I was growing up. He could spin on boom, 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 boom.
Like Steph can shoot from like he's draining practice shots
Yeah.
from the locker room.
Can't spin a ball on his
your
finger.
Like
It's really weird. Hey, the Feast on the Field is coming up. Capital Care Foundation is hosting the Feast on the Field and Charity Golf Classic with special guest MC Luke Gazdick. How about this handsome man? Our lucky foursome, one lucky foursome, I should say, will get to spend a day golfing. Red Tail Landing with Luke. Capital Care Foundation believes everyone deserves to live with dignity, and they do this by providing positive mental wellness and a home-like atmosphere. And they do that with funds from these events. Feast on the Field, Charity Golf Classic. This is going down August 14th and 15th. Feast on the Field is right at Commonwealth. On the field. It's a feast. And then the Golf Classic, presented by Gilead, is at Red Tail Landing. www.capitalcarefoundation.net. That's www.capitalcarefoundation.net if you would like to check out more on that. I know the Feast on the Field fills up very quickly. They definitely like a few teams to sign up for the golf tournament. And who doesn't want to go golf Red Tail in a charity event? Duh. It'll be a great time.
and old Gazzy eyes too. Yeah.
Gazdick will be there. Lock eyes with him. Canada now leads Australia 81-72. RJ Barrett up to 23.
He just drained one.
And the Josh Giddey game is slowed down. Still stuck at 18. Still stuck at 18. All right, on the way, Matt Dunigan's going to make his Edmonton Sports Talk debut. Hopefully Dunigan can connect and everything. This is going to be very exciting.
Ready, set, hut.
Can't wait to talk with Dunigan. Can we get a conch for Dunigan? I got it. I got a conch for Dunigan who's coming up. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun. Trev, you got the sports update for LTE? Let's do it. Sports update for LTE presented by Green Plan. He'll have more information on that. Matt Dunigan on the current quarterback situation around the Canadian Football League, including the Elks' decision to go to Trey Ford this week against the Riders, according to Farhan Banya, who broke that news last
Kenny
night.
Lolgy.
Sports update right now.
Last night on Edmonton Sports Talk, Brody Clark became the Stingers' franchise leader in scoring. He had 17 in an 89-86 win over the Winnipeg Sea Bears. The Stingers finished the regular season second in the West, 13-7. They'll get set to host the Western Conference semifinals Sunday. Riverhawks baseball returns to Edmonton Sports Talk tonight. The club capping the regular season with a 9-game road trip that begins in Victoria. Coverage will begin later this evening at 7:30. Prospects also back on the diamond. They'll host Brooks tonight from Sherwood Park. Blue Jays splitting yesterday's doubleheader in Baltimore, but it was off the diamond where the action was. Yusei Kikuchi dealt to Houston in exchange for 3 players. Justin Turner also shipped to the Mariners earlier in the day. Jays and Orioles series continues this afternoon. Chris Bassett starts first pitch 4:35. Over to the pairs games on the hardcourt. Canada v. Australia in men's basketball. We can tell you currently in the fourth quarter, Canada with an 81-72 lead, 5:09 left in the fourth. Later on today, the Canadian women's rugby sevens will take on Australia in semifinal action. That gets underway at 8. Canadian women's 3-on-3 basketball takes on, you guessed it, Australia at 10. And after receiving a 6-point deduction following Dronegate, the women's soccer team will battle Colombia tomorrow afternoon with a chance to advance to the quarters. And according to TSN's Farhan Lalji, the Elks will start Trey Ford at quarterback for their Week 9 visit to Saskatchewan. That game Saturday at 5. Week 9 kicks off in Winnipeg Thursday between the Lions and Bombers. Sports Update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting service. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with Green Plan. Visit green-plan.com or give them a call, 780-455-4292.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.03 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here. Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric with you. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We're hoping to connect with Matt Dunigan. Looks like we keep seeing like his background pop up, but not him. Yeah, maybe flip it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that out. Trev will work with Maddie on getting that set up. The Nielson Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Closer than you think. Since 1983. No big deal. Best deal, best price. Your go-to dealership for Silverado 1500s and heavy duties. 0% financing available on select models. See the dealer for details. Check out their website, www.southfortchev.com. Go see Daniel and his team at South Fort Chev. Tell them we sent you. They'll give you 15% off accessories for your new ride. Hit us up in the Paris Jewelers inbox. We will get to that as we work our way through the show today as well. www.parisjewelers.com if you want to buy something fancy for the one that you love. Canada leading 85-78, 3:24 to go, looking to improve to 2-0 at the Canadian men or the Olympic men's basketball tournament. That would drop Australia to 1-1 and give Canada full control of the group with a game still to come against Spain. So a nice job over there so far. SGA's up to 16 points. RJ Barrett leading the way with 23 for Canada. We're going to have the premiere of that video we put together called The Interview with Reed Wilkins as he was trying to get a job here. We eventually hired him, so the interview must have gone well. So we'll get to that coming up around 7:45. Weekly Confession's going to happen here at 7:30 today as well. Coolbet Canada hotline of the day still to come. But, man, I'm excited about this. If you thought we need a little more energy today, Matt Dunigan joins us from the CFL on TSN. Matty, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Yeah, hey, you can see me now, right?
Yeah, we got you. You're looking terrific, Matty.
Thank you, brother. All right, I'm excited to be on the show. Obviously, talk a little quarterback around the league and certainly with the Elks. And, so, dude, really compelling TV the other day, listening to you in suits. We're in the studio, obviously, watching this, and you guys were teeing it up, and I think people were expecting it at halftime, and it didn't happen. It kind of went another quarter, and, of course, Hamilton did their job of, controlling the clock and keeping the ball out of MBT in the Elks' hands, and then finally we got to see Trey Ford, and granted, it was in Pabs and the Abs time.
Yeah.
That's points after beatdown and yards after beatdown, but there's no denying the kid's ability to make plays and how he lit that team on fire.
Well, that's what I wonder, Matty. Like, we know the situation that they were in when he came into that game. So how much stock do you put into what you saw from the 10 minutes that he was in?
Zero. Can you see that? That's, it's just, that was Skelly time. That was a glorified, practice, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think more so than trying to quantify his reps and how that was or wasn't appropriate or meaningful. No, it was, because I think it gave you a glimpse as to how the team responded, the crowd. And although a lot of that like we talked about, and I have to say this, it was in the abs and pabs point of the game. It's you can't deny what he did to that football team, offensively, defensively, and people just got excited. And when you're searching for a new direction, a spark, certainly he provided that. And now we're going to see, according to Farhan in Saskatchewan, Trey Ford get it from the beginning. And our question always is it sustainable? Is it something that he can do continually? And I don't think the Elks have any choice other than to find out, because where they're at now at 0-7, just it's not cutting it.
Well, it's interesting because he goes from what you laid out there, basically a skeleton defense from the Ticats, to a Riders defense that has been outstanding this year, a Riders team that's battling right now with the BC Lions at the top of the West. You said, I think a lot of people in town here are like, well, you might as well just get to him and see what he has. Do you think they're putting him in a spot to succeed right now against his Riders defense? So you basically have no other option, do you think?
I think Trey Ford will think that they're putting him in a position to succeed. It's like, just get me out there.
Yeah.
So that's all you can do. And from the beginning, there's been this narrative about Trey that he didn't want to be a package quarterback. And I think that hurt him, that approach, if it's true that was what was said. And because as a quarterback, I know Jerry is going to attest to this as well, we're always trying to find some way, just get me on the field, and I will make things happen. I need those opportunities. I need those reps. Just get me on the field no matter what situation they are. And finally we saw that. They went and got Dakota Prukup, who was let go by Winnipeg. When Strevler came in, BC, he goes to BC, and things don't work out there, and Edmonton picks him up. And to me, that's why Trey was looking at number 3, and you only saw him in practice. You never saw him in game situations. And I think that was a mistake. Mistake for him as a young man to verbalize those things and to not want to be that. Because you got to fight and claw at this level to get out there in any way, shape, or form. And we finally got to see it. So position of success next week, that's up to him, up to the team. He'll get those first team reps. And he moved forward against a very tough SAS team that has found a way to win with their backup quarterback. So, they're pretty solid over there, and they're finding ways to win. But at the end of the day, we're flipping the page and moving forward, and I think that gets people excited there in Edmonton.
Matt Dunigan with us on the show this morning. Matty, I know this isn't Trey Ford's first start when he goes out there against the Riders. In fact, he beat the Riders last year, different Riders team. But just for you, I want you to dial it back a bit. Your first start in the CFL, how did that go?
Oh, wow. You're dialing it back a lot, bro. You just broke the dial.
Ripped it off. Threw it away.
Oh, my God. It's like, I don't even think we had dials back then. I got to throw, I think, 26 passes in 19. Well, I won't even go there. And behind Warren Moon. And, I was Warren's cheerleader. Let's go, Warren. It's good. That was really good, man. That was amazing. How did you do that? And what game are we playing? It was like, what the hell is going on here? I had so much to learn. I didn't know anything about the CFL and the nuances. And, I finally got to get my first one under Jackie Parker the following season in 1984. And, I was literally Trey Ford. Wasn't seeing the defense, just pulling it down and making people miss and trying to create, extend plays, and we were able to do that and improve our record from the year before when Warren was a starter. So I felt pretty good about learning under the fly, figuring it out, and I really didn't give a crap whether I couldn't read a defense. I was just trying to win games, and the fact that we won one more game than we did the year before and broke 500. I was like, okay, we're going in the right direction. And, I was a slow learner. I think it took me about 8 years before I had it completely figured out. and it's like, and I was like, okay, the game slowed down for me finally. But, fortunately I had the skill set, and I think the fortitude, the mind, just the intangibles to continue to keep propelling me forward. And I think that's what we're going to see from Trey Ford. You have to let him go out there and learn. And there's going to be some mistakes. It's not going to be pretty. I also heard my colleague Glenn Suter talk about that the other night. And, it was, that's going to be the case. I mean, hell, you're watching veteran quarterbacks continue to make mistakes in this league. It's a fast-paced league. You got to take chances. If you got an arm, you're going to try to fit it in there. And if you're like me, it's going to go the other way a lot of times. And you get on your heels to learn how to make a tackle. And it's just one of those things that you've got to play the game to learn the game. And Trey's going to get, I think, more of that opportunity starting this weekend.
Well, Matt, you mentioned, sometimes it does take a while, and for the quarterback that Trey might be up against in Shea Patterson on Saturday, he's had a few cups of coffee in different locales, seems to be fitting in relief of Trevor Harris this season. But what have you made of his game, and how high do you see Shea Patterson flying in this league?
It's a really tough one, to go ahead and try to quantify a guy's ability in such a short period of time. I think the team, similar to what we saw the Elks the other night, likes this young man, and that's important. It's not like he's just being rolled out there because he's the next guy up. Yeah. I think this team actually likes Shea Patterson, and they like him being there. They like his attitude, his approach. He's been around the facility for a couple of years, and to me, that's important. The respect factor, and understanding that this kid can get it done. And his teammates around him want him to get it done, and they're going to help him do everything they can. That's important. That's important to have. And I think that's now what you're going to see with Trey. I do believe that I need to see more Shea Patterson. He's a competitor. He has athletic ability that he can extend plays. And that team's, like I said, found ways to win in Trevor Harris's absence, and they like him. As far as arm strength, I'm concerned about that to some degree, but I watch some of the trajectories of the balls and things of that nature come out, and I just don't see a lot of that. But you don't have to have a cannon up here, but you'd have to know how to navigate and work the areas on the field and the situations. And so far, Mark Buehler and that young quarterback have been able to do that on a consistent basis and found ways to win in the absence of Trevor. And kudos to him, because I know there's a lot going on out there for that young man. And when the game slows down, that ball will be able to come out a lot quicker with a lot more confidence when you see it over and over and over again, and that takes time. And so good things from Shea Patterson and figuring out the game, and it'll slow down for him as he continues to play, and he'll just only improve from that.
Yeah, and last week, the Riders coming up short in Montreal to a Davis Alexander-led Alouettes offense.
Coming out of nowhere.
Second half. And, what are your thoughts on this? Because this was very fascinating to watch. Obviously, the Riders kind of in control comfortably at the half. You enter Davis Alexander. He's perfect at some point. Finishes 15 of 18, close to 200 yards, pair of touchdowns, running around a bit as well. That was a fun watch, Matty, for a CFL quarterback. Is this, too, there's a bit of a flash in the pan, but going up against that Riders D, you got to think it's a little more than that.
First of all, brilliant to watch. It was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is exactly what the turnaround was incredible. Jason Moss, again, called an incredible game to put the kid in good situations. He's been doing it for a long time now with the quarterback and Cody Fajardo, and putting him in good situations. And Cody sees it. He understands it. Those guys are meshed, and we saw the brilliance of that take flight last year. in their run to the Grey Cup and how they sealed the deal, and more of the same this year before Cody pulled the hammy. And it's just fun to watch. And you had more of the same with this young man. And it was one of those scenarios where I thought that Jason put him in some great situations. And then you could just see the pump screen and the fake and that unfold, and it was a beautiful play call, and we see it 1,000 times with Cody and Jason on the field, and nothing changed. He executed the play, made the throw, and gave Reggie White his second of the night and lit that team on fire, and they came back in thrilling fashion, and that's what you have to do. The kid stepped up when he had the opportunity, made it happen. His head coach didn't flinch. He continued to call the game to put him in good situations, and like you said, he showed flashes of mobility that extended plays. His first touchdown as a CFL quarterback, he flushed to his left, got out of harm's way, and then boom. I think he found Reggie for the first one, and he was wide open. It's because of his mobility. I think you have to possess that. He possesses that. He controlled the line of scrimmage. He made good, solid throws, and a good play calling by the head coach put him in success, and that was fun to watch. It was like, oh, my God. This is just incredible. This football team's on such a roll right now.
Yeah.
And to win in that fashion just kind of takes them and layers their confidence one more step.
Matty, before we let you go, I know you probably get this all the time, but we're watching over on the YouTube chat and the text line right now. They're like, "How come Matt hasn't started a YouTube channel where he barbecues things?" Have you thought about starting a YouTube channel where you just barbecue things, or what?
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw shit in the fire and just go. And let's do it, man. Let's do it old school, caveman. In fact, that'd probably a good title for the show. Just throw it on fire, see what happens. Figure it out. You're hungry enough, you'll eat it. I don't care if it's not any good. Eat it. It's what we got. At the end of the day, have I thought about that? Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then life gets in the way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'll leave that to you guys, Dusty. You guys figured it out there. And, I love what you do. Pretty soon I can see you guys doing that in the back 40 there at your place and barbecuing and hanging out and have some beverages like you're tailgating. So just call it the tailgate episode. Go out there, get your cue on, and here we go. It's pretty simple. I know they got a good one right there in Edmonton before the game out in the parking lot. It's actually has been, and for some time now, the best part of going to the Elks games, is the tailgating prior to. And oftentimes that's the case. And, that's what happens in the States. Everybody, goes to the game, and thousands of people never actually go inside. They just stay out there and have a good time, continue to barbecue and pound beers and enjoy the game from that perspective. So, scratch an itch, man. It's there, the opportunity, but I just never got into it. I'm going to leave that to you guys.
Maddie, next time you're in Edmonton, though, please get down to the tailgate if you can. You'll be treated like a god. And also, our 4-man fantasy league asked me to ask you this morning that we still owe you a steak supper. So next time you're in town, myself, Dave Jameson, Matt Iwanek, McCord, and my brother Luke will all take you out to a steak of your choosing, man. It's on us.
Yeah, I remember all the hot air coming out of there years ago, and I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting.
We're still waiting. Yeah. We're patient.
I was there for a week at the beginning of the season. Nothing. Zero. It's like no calls. Hey, you keep doing what y'all are doing, man. You're killing it. You're slaying it. And, hopefully the Elks can get things turned around and figure this out, and things can settle down there a little bit for you so you don't keep having to answer the same questions. But, it's our jobs, right? So I appreciate you having me on and shed a little light to this situation.
Thanks a lot for the chat, Matty. We'll talk to you later, dude.
Yeah, man.
There you go. That's Matt Dunigan, CFL legend, obviously. And good chat.
Would love to be a weekly guest. Selfishly.
That would be really good. Really
Maybe shares a recipe once a week. We don't need to. He doesn't need to be going to just share a recipe.
I think it just sounds like he basically just says, take random stuff, throw it in the fire, and then eat it.
Throw it on the grill. The caveman thing, yeah.
It's too funny. Dunigan was great. I know Tom Dixon's mustache had been waiting for Matt Dunigan to pop on the show here at some point. I thought the Trey Ford conversation was probably the perfect time to do it. So, yeah, thanks to Maddie for popping by this morning as the Edmonton Elks transition to Trey Ford at least for one start. And then we'll see where it goes from there. I have a hard time believing you just give him one start and then go back in. So if you give Trey Ford one start and they lose, you're going to go back to MBT at 0-8.
To do what? Yeah, and you mentioned the next two opponents are not necessarily something that you are looking at and rubbing your hands together and saying, maybe 2 out of the 4, maybe the full 4 points. Like, these are 2 good teams that you're coming up against. But if you're giving him the start this week, are you then giving him the reins, shall we say? Like, this isn't just a start.
I had a hard time. That's why I think this is Lawlisher being like, it's time, flip it over. I don't care how much we're paying MBT.
Yeah.
Because you can't just go to Trey for one game and be like,
No.
well, give him a shot.
Give him a look.
That's it. Back to MBT. I just don't think you can do that. So, but part of me, I'm also very surprised that they've had their hand forced to go to Trey here. Like, they were very, very reluctant to go to Trey Ford. It was like, you know what it was? You know what it reminded me of there at Commonwealth on Sunday? Remember when the head coach and Rudy was like, we're not putting him in. Like, cool, he got a game. He's not going into this game. And then the fans started chanting, Rudy, Rudy, Rudy. And finally he looked down the line to his coordinator and was just like, fine, put him in.
Yeah.
Like, there was that type of vibe at Commonwealth on Sunday.
Yeah.
Fans are booing MBT. They're chanting, we want Trey. They still wouldn't go to him in the third quarter. And then finally Jarius Jackson was like, fine. Put him in there. So
I understand prior to the season and Jones being the position he's in where he needs to win today, and you go with, as Naylor mentioned yesterday as well, I mean, the ceiling's very high on Ford, but the floor, like, you knew what you were getting in MBT in a sense. If you had the O-line to protect him, that'd be a different story. You don't, so you make the move. But I am fascinated with the terminology that, is it just a start, or are you now, is this, like, if you say to the quarterback, this is your team now running, You're not looking over your shoulder or worried about, hey, if it's 21-8 at the half down in Regina, am I getting pulled at the half? You have to give it to him now, his team, not just a start.
yeah, that would be the smart way to go about it.
You would hope. Again, as you said with this team, though.
We'll see what happens.
You tend to think the opposite is usually.
On that front, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999.
X-Ray J. Matt, have any interest in that 1 to 3 time slot?
Yeah, well, I see the real not so Slim Shady says, did you guys just figure out the 1 to 3 show? The tailgate. You barbecue and talk sports. Oh, man.
Him outside with the Russians in the parking lot? Take me there.
That's not a bad idea of like a barbecue, and as you're standing around the barbecue, you're just drinking beers, talking sports. I mean, we're not going to do it every day from 1 to 3, but that's something we can
do it for
sometimes.
2 hours before every game.
I think that's something we could, yeah. I don't mind the EST tailgate where it's just like random people sitting around barbecuing, talking sports.
We should get a little hibachi for the old.
Is that a little circle barbecue?
One of those,
small
like the
barbecue?
George
Yeah.
Foreman thing. Yeah.
Well, I think hibachi's different than a George Foreman grill.
I don't know.
Does George Foreman also have a hibachi?
You know what I'm talking, though. Hey,
I know what
I
you're
want a
talking
really
about.
portable, like as
I always
portable as it
imagine
gets.
those ones, they're like orange. You know, they got like the orange.
Oh, the egg.
base. Yeah.
Is
That's what I'm
that-
imagining.
Yeah, you're thinking.
That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah, see, I want one of these guys. You put on the.
Let me see.
These little.
Oh, you take it to like down in the River Valley, put it on a picnic table and hibachi
Grill up
stuff.
some dogs and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Throw it in the EST Cruiser and away you go.
The hibachi tailgate on Edmonton Sports Talk. Brought to you, but that was hibachi. Is that like the Kleenex thing? Is that the brand, or is that what the actual thing is?
I never really knew
Nobody
either.
knows.
That's why I just say it. Whenever
Nobody
you
knows.
portable grills, hibachi. I don't know.
We're going to get to your Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day. I just happened to have my email open as we were chatting with Dunigan. And Jack Cookson, of course, from Pro-Am Sports, Mix and Match Mondays. Hit that bad boy yesterday. Of course, hockey insiders all throughout the season. Jack just wanted to give everybody the heads up that they will be closed for inventory on July 31st.
Everybody loves an inventory day, hey?
Yeah. Inventory day. It's just you need people who can count. Right? That's how it works.
Yeah, ask Wayne next time you're in how inventory is.
Wayne at Wayne Sports Cards, the inventory is just like, it's ridiculous. Inventory's got I don't think we ever have to do inventory around here.
I'd hope not.
Now, with that being said, if companies are allowed to use like inventory as a reason to close for a day, what do you think about the day after the Estes is just inventory day at Edmonton Sports
Taking
Talk?
stock of ourselves.
We just have something on the online station that just says Edmonton Sports Talk is doing inventory because nobody ever questions you, right? You roll up to a place and it's closed for inventory. They're like, oh, closed for inventory, of course. Like nobody's ever like, damn it, why are you closed for inventory? People just accept the inventory excuse. So if we could sit there and go, you know what? September 18th, the morning after the Estes, Edmonton Sports Talk, HR Daddy's in town.
Yeah.
We're closed for inventory.
Well, he'd like to peruse over the books, maybe.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, whatever excuse you need.
Maybe that's what we'll do. Has anybody out there, all you business people, I'm looking at you, Cookson.
I apologize. I
Wayne.
got you off Cookson there, the email.
No. I know. Anyway, they're closed for inventory on July 31st. But if any of you business people ever used inventory as an excuse to shut down for a day.
And
Now, I know
you
it's
weren't
usually-
doing it.
You'd rather be open and selling.
Yeah.
But let's just say like somebody was, do you want to go to the Super Bowl? And you're like, I can't. I have to work that day. Well, why don't you just do inventory that day? And then you do inventory.
Brian, the accountant, checking in. He goes, if you need somebody, I'm your guy. So we've already got...
The whole accountant life is based around inventory. My goodness. Hey, if you're watching over on YouTube today, let's hammer that thumbs up. We crushed through 100 thumbs up in the first hour of the show. 7 o'clock hour. Let's go.
Let's get that Dunigan bump here.
Let's go. Hammer this.
Hey, how about
change 200
how
before
about
8
for
o'clock.
Canada, 2-0?
2-0. 2-0.
2-0. 93-83, your final.
That just works. So if you're watching over there, hammer the thumbs up. We're very close to 9,600 subs as well. Of course, that'll be a number that we can't celebrate. Maddie says we can't celebrate until we hit 10,000. Maybe we have a barbecue with hibachi for 10,000 subs.
Yes.
That'd be real nice.
I like Zach counting all the waters we have
Not
for
a-
inventory.
It's not
Hey,
a
that's
bad idea. Come on, somebody. We got confessions coming up. Give us your inventory confessions. I remember one time. I don't know. Do grocery stores have to do inventory?
We had to do a thing once. We'd shut down.
feel like,
We'd
yeah.
have guys like we'd shut down
Full-blown-
on a Sunday at 6,
Yeah.
and then the staff would stay into the night to
Track the whole store.
I did.
You know, when I was working at Overweighty Foods in Cranbrook, and then we transitioned into a new building at Save-On, and we had to set up the entire store, like talking shelving, and then stock it. Yeah. It was insane. It was the closest I ever got to inventory. I don't take inventory around here. Wanix probably already does every day. Maddie's probably like, well, we need to have an inventory day. Actually, I keep track of inventory.
You ask him
every
how
day.
many bottled waters are in that room. He's got the
he would know.
exact.
He actually probably
every
would
day.
know exactly. That's our only inventory. Is we had 50 flats of Edmonton Sports Talk water, which I don't think we're allowed to have because they're for other people. But yeah, it's like the only thing that we would do.
Bones wonders, does anyone do outventory? So
Inventory, more like, yeah, I'm not even going there.
What's the deal with
inventory? That's a tough one. That is a tough one. All right, 780-218. Let's quickly hit on your Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day. Just taking the number in this Elks Riders game has not moved. The Riders opened up yesterday as a 5.5-point favorite, and that is where they continue to sit this morning. Major League Baseball. What do we just get on the Orioles here? Blue Jays and Selma.
Sure, yep.
Let's go Orioles minus 1.5 runs. Plus 100.
Split the doubleheader yesterday. Jays sweeping the Rangers over the weekend, too.
Vladdy's been red hot.
Vladdy has been red hot.
Vladdy's
Pretty good
been red
season.
hot,
Yeah.
but you have to be demoralized by moving on from Kikuchi. So,
Yeah.
Baltimore Orioles on the run line, minus 1.5 at plus 100. That's the Orioles run line, minus 1.5, plus 100. That's a 4:35 start today. Baltimore Orioles minus 1.5 will be your Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day. All right, we've got a sports update coming down the pipe here with Lieutenant Eric for the great staff over at Park Mazda. On the other side, it's weekly confession time. What do you need to confess? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where we can get to our confessions. Fantasy sports confessions. All right, not fantasy football season. Just about to get underway. Maybe you're already drafting.
One well underway.
Work confessions. Life confessions. What do you got? Give us those confessions. 780-218-9999. For real. For real. Should we hit that? Should we hit the song of the summer coming up? I know there's something else kicking around.
Atif, I don't know why I gave him my personal number once upon a time.
I know.
But he keeps texting me a Reed Wilkinson
Oh,
song.
I got it.
But the Reed Wilkinson song,
He's calling him.
blurry that.
I know, but they sent an audio file.
It's a hostage video.
You know what? I'll take a listen to it while he's doing the update. Maybe we'll play it. I don't want to go a Teef overload.
No.
Especially when he
We don't
thinks
need
his
that.
name is Reed Wilkinson.
Yeah.
But, I mean, beauty move. Let's get to a sports update, confessions on the other side, and the premiere of a video we're calling The Interview. As you'll find out exactly why we decided to hire Reed Wilkins. I
keep thinking we're talking politics. You're like,
no.
the premier.
No. Don't even get me started on premieres.
No.
This is ridiculous. All right, sports update with LT. Here we go.
Last night here on Edmonton Sports Talk, Brody Clark became the Stingers' franchise leader in scoring. He had 17 in an 89-86 win over the Winnipeg Seabears. The Stingers finished the regular season second in the West at 13-7. They'll get set to host the Western Conference semifinals Sunday. Riverhawks baseball back on Edmonton Sports Talk tonight. The club capping the regular season with a 9-game road trip beginning in Victoria. Coverage starts at 7:30. Prospects back home. They'll host Brooks tonight out in Sherwood Park. Jays, their series with the Orioles continues later this afternoon. First pitch 4:35. Chris Bassett starts. Yesterday, Yusei Kikuchi shipped to Houston in exchange for a handful of players. Over to the Paris Games, Canada victorious on the hard court yet again. The men's basketball team with a 93-83 win over Australia, which sees Canada improve to 2-0, Australia dropping to 1-1. Later on this morning at 8, Canadian women's rugby sevens take on the Aussies. Canadian women's 3-on-3 basketball also face Australia at 10. And after receiving a 6-point deduction following DroneGate, the women's soccer team will battle Colombia tomorrow afternoon with a chance to advance to the quarterfinals. TSN's Farhan Lalji reporting the Elks will start Trey Ford at quarterback for their Week 9 visit to Saskatchewan. That game goes Saturday at 5. Week 9 will kick off in Winnipeg Thursday between the Lions and Bombers. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where if you're giving the 1-3 slot to Dunigan, Mitch would love to ride shotgun.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you can afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Chris Jackson, you are for real, for real, for real, real, for real, for real, for real, Chris Jackson, you are now the new interim head coach of the Edmonton Elks. They have a great receiving corps, but now you gotta get the defense to stop a few plays here and there so you can win a damn football game. For real, for real, for real, real. The fan base wants a win, so let's get out there and do it, do it, do it. Let's get out there and get the Elk to win the Grey Cup. Celebrate with the boys with a 6 o'clock log. For real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real. Let's go Elks.
Oh man, who should get credit for that? Like if that's nominated for an Esty,
A collab project.
is it Jonty and Victoria, or is it Atif who should get credit for that? Because Atif gave us the original for real and the whole thing, but Jonty and Victoria made it what it is.
If it's produced in BC, it's actually a BC, like, you know, we have this with records. Where is it recorded? Who's it done? Like,
that's something you have to look at there, I think. 780-218-9999. Man, this...
You're having
I
a
don't
time
know what's
over
going
there.
on here.
Tell the people here.
So
You're taking
my
behind the curtain.
one headphone keeps like shocking the lower part of my left ear.
Your lobe?
But if I put it in my right side, it doesn't. It's really weird, which makes me think my left ear is more electrical than my right ear. And that must be what it is. It's really weird. Whatever. I mean, it's science. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in. Spectrum Rental sitting there waiting. They've got a confession.
On cue.
Tommy the Wrench down in Arizona today.
Wrenchless down there, though. Hey.
Tommy, is it still dark down there? Tell us about Arizona.
I saw them playing ping pong yesterday on his Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that. Trev said this morning, he looked out the window. He said, it's starting to get dark out earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You did, Trev. You did say that.
I hate that.
That
Sucks.
daily walk is a little more perilous, shall we say.
Yeah.
It does suck. Like, it's still the middle of the summer, but it's starting to get darker earlier now.
Yeah, it's always way nicer when you wake up and you notice it's starting to get lighter. And it's exact opposite. It's just depressing. I hate the when you leave work some days and it's like already almost dark out, and then when you're heading to work, obviously it's pitch black. It sucks.
You got to do the old thing where you have the nap at around 5:30 p.m. Wake up thinking it's 5:30 a.m. and then you get the whole mind. Reed had that tale as well when he had to cover for mornings one year.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
That's the worst.
That throws you never recover from that mentally. Eh?
Absolutely hate that. It's like my heart just gets racing like crazy. You're like, oh no, it's 4:45.
And you never get that adrenaline down again.
Yeah. I walked out the door one day. Like Tam and the kids weren't there. I was just like, well,
why are you up?
Yeah. What's going on? Marcia's outside. Hey, Daddy, what? You've been outside all night? I'm a horrible father. Horrible father. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, please tell your friends that you can listen to us on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com. It's that simple. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up. Let's change 200 over on that bad boy. Let's get to your confessions today, shall we? Nielson Show presented to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Check out their website, www.southfortchev.com. 15% off accessories on your new ride if you tell Daniel and his team down there, or up there, I guess, that we sent you. Confessions, 780-218-9999, Spectrum Rental, where they confess to mailing in their confessions with the accuracy of Bethel Thompson lately. Rent a mini skid steer with dump trailer to do everything in one shot. Man, can a mini skid steer tow a dump trailer? That's the question I have.
Can it install a basketball hoop?
You can. Mini skid steer easily. My buddy Saker, he had a skid steer. He would do everything with that.
What's
everything with his skid steer. He's built an entire baseball stadium at his property for the upcoming world's longest baseball game. The Godfather's playing in it.
We got an update on Sig. I was going to say, when's this game? Is he?
It's like Labor Day long weekend, and they're going to raise a bunch of money for cancer. It's like a 4-day baseball game, I think.
Oh, my buddy Matt DeBurs plays in that one. I think
it's a lot of injuries though. There's Achilles being torn and.
Yeah. Look, a lot of Tommy Johns.
People have said it for a long time.
The Tommy John factory. That's what they think.
The riskiest sport to play is baseball, and those guys are living proof.
Tailored to the pure athlete, I think. Baseball. That's a game where you need to be.
The Godfather and Patty from the Brewhouse are on the same lineup.
Wow. Well,
that's good. That's
some heavy hitting.
Not a lot of speed on those bags,
but they're going yard.
But still pretty impressive.
Big bats.
All right, what are we confessing today, Rick? If you have a confession. Text in your confession, then go to Spectrum Rental and get a mini skid steer and a dump trailer. What's a dump trailer? Is a dump trailer like a trailer where you can push a button and it actually dumps for you?
I hope.
Or is it a trailer that you can pick up with your hands and dump? Is it like a wheelbarrow? Is that another name for a dump trailer?
Or a real big ass.
Oh, that's funny. All right. What are you confessing?
Well, I confess that I won in fantasy this week, and I'll also confess that I started Bo Levi Mitchell against the Elks defense.
I mean, not really. What was your other option?
Shea Patterson against Montreal.
Well, of course you're starting Bo.
Look, I don't get a lot of wins this year, so I'm going to circle the wagons here and give myself a little bit of a positive confession.
That's a nice one.
Why not?
Yeah.
And I picked up Liam Hezralahu off the waiver wire because White was on a bye.
Haralahu.
He gave me 11 points.
Did you say the J?
Do
you always say the J?
Hard J.
You never
hard J.
Go soft J's.
Hard.
Ever.
Hard, slow-burning J's.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. No, I'm back up now, and just to recap...
You're within striking distance of McCord and Iwanek.
All I need to do is get in the dance, baby. And Mr. Iwanek, who 3-5 right now, who had the draft of all drafts, apparently. I'm a game back. I'm feeling great. I'm lurking in the weeds, as they say.
Amish man says it's like a dump truck, but just a trailer. Right, so you push a button. Now, wouldn't it be cool if you could just get like a dump truck remote control mini dump truck. You know, like the big heavy haulers they have up at site in Fort
You're
Mac.
thinking of what this?
But I'm thinking like from me to you.
Yeah.
And you could even have a front cab where you put a little baby in there.
Baby.
And then you drive it around. You I got to go back up. I got to dump my dirt. That'd be pretty fun. I think that'd be a cool idea. Let's get that. Spectrum Rental, can you make those? Or can you get them in for us? That'd be great. I'd love to drive one of those around. We could use it downstairs where they just keep having piles of dirt out there that they just keep spreading. Like I don't even know if they're going to put in the turf that they're supposed to put in down there. They just have a different pile of dirt every day, and they just slowly spread it out. I don't know what they're doing.
I still hope it's used turf from somewhere else and it's already branded. That's what I want. I want like.
Do you have to have? Yeah, it's already branded with something else.
Like this is from like an NFL stadium for some reason.
They got the old used turf from TSN 1260.
Got a 30-yard line right in the middle for some reason.
I mean, that's crazy to me. You too, Trev. You got any confessions today?
No, I don't. But I was just gonna say, even Victor is having it with the people out front.
Has Victor even had it up?
I was like, I don't know what they're doing. They smoke. They're just out there, and I'm like,
he's dragging one. Yeah,
of course. Victor's out there having a smoke, not working, criticizing those guys.
He's like, it's ridiculous. They say for so many years they're gonna do this, and now they finally start, but. They're taking their time, and I'm like, yeah, it was pretty funny. I'm like, well, have a good one. But
now they're laying down like some sort of gray dirt.
Yeah.
Above like 4 other layers of
compact.
dirt.
Yeah, it's very compact.
Yeah.
Every day when I leave, time for a beer yet, boys? And it's kind of like,
I love that Victor's getting pissed off at these guys.
He's like,
he was also doing inventory the other day down in the spa.
Of course he was.
Speaking
now, was it still open?
No.
It was closed for inventory,
But he said
too?
he was like,
We got to have an
there
inventory
overnight.
day.
He was there overnight doing inventory.
Oh, yeah, he said he was
overnight.
in like 3 a.m. or
Smoking, too. He's
something.
like,
Victor downstairs is an absolute beauty.
he's a machine.
I love that guy. And he also makes us feel way safer.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's going to mess with Russian spa guy. No. We're sitting up here.
And if you do, you'll never be seen again.
Catbird seat.
As Maddie said, a strong smell of bleach and no evidence.
Never see you again. You don't have to say anything to Victor. I walk by and I go, hey, Vic. It's like, boom, got it, taken care of, done.
Puts it out.
That's how we imagine him. He's probably just a really great family guy who's barbecuing every night at home.
He's-
But in our mind, Victor from downstairs
He's got an edge to him.
is like this Russian who just takes care of business. It's we got a lot of time up in the office, boys. Like, anyway, it's a lot of fun. Okay, so I guess I have 2 confessions. One, guys, we've been pronouncing Yarius Yaxon wrong because of the J. I like that. That's funny. One is yesterday when I got to work,
Yef Yaxon.
I they'd smoothed out a lot of the little pebbles and stuff they were working with yesterday out front. I walked right across it. I know. I'm sorry, boys.
You son of a gun.
I know.
They weren't out there.
Yes, no, they weren't out there. Well, it was whatever. It was like 10 after 5.
Yeah.
I pulled out. You could just walk around it. It's not like a far walk around it. But I got out of the truck. I was directly across from the door. And you know what? By the amount of time I stood there staring at the dirt, I could have walked around and gone in. But I stood there and I was just looked at it. I was like, should I walk across this? And then I did see one set of footprints on it. Was that you? This guy.
Let's be honest here, boys. We're all in the same room. I've been walking across it every morning.
Every morning.
Well, because nobody's out there working. Like if it
when
was
I felt
concrete,
bad, it was very well maintained, but I saw one set of footprints. So technically, I tried to step in your same footprints so I wouldn't get caught. But
I've been doing it every morning when I show up because nobody's here.
That's why they keep leveling it out.
That's why they have to keep
me start
one set of
on it.
8 hours to level that out.
We're sitting here complaining, but they have to restart every day because we keep walking through it. Oh my God, that would be funny. God, that would be funny. I love that I felt bad at my confession. You're like, those footprints are mine.
Well, in the morning. You don't want to do it when they're working there. Like, you won't want to walk in front of them. But when nobody's there, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like settling.
That's too funny, man. My other confession is that yesterday I started following Zach on Twitter for the first time.
Wow. Welcome to the club.
Just yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. I'm sitting around like late last night. Got home from the Stingers game. Phenomenal game. We talked about in the 6 o'clock hour. Got home from the Stingers game. Sat down. Was doing some work. It was like 11 o'clock. I popped over onto Twitter, and it's like, people you may know. And I can't remember who the other 2 were, but then the one was Zachary HMK. I was like, oh, I don't follow Zach on Twitter yet? I guess I should. So congratulations, Zacticum. You got another follower yesterday. But I feel kind of greasy for that. I mean, he works with us. Haven't started following him.
He's a pretty good follow on Twitter, I'll say.
I wouldn't know.
A little interesting of a guy, but...
yeah, I would not know.
Heavy UFC.
Yeah, I'll mute him.
He's a fighting... Yeah. You fucking mute him.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. All right. Those are your confessions for Spectrum Rental today. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's ruining their project downstairs.
I think if we all did it alone, it wouldn't be this bad. But
no, here's a real question. Do you think Victor walks over it ever?
I don't think so.
Because he parks off to the left.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah,
so he wouldn't have to. He would technically come out and turn left. We park right on the other side of the dirt. So that's why we walk through it. You know what I wanted to do today? I wanted to climb up the hill. There's like that dirt hill out there. I would climb right up on top of it. I'm the king of the world. That would be a lot of fun. All right, 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. Surveyor Brett says, I'm just here for the interview. Yeah, this should be a lot of fun. Trev, so I haven't seen this yet. I haven't seen like the final cut yet. I scripted this bad boy, then Reed and I had some fun with it along the way.
How many takes?
Well, you know what? It got to the end. We were having so much fun with it. We just kept doing extra takes.
Yeah.
I think just because we like doing it. Trev, was that not the kid? Trev was shooting it.
Yep.
Like we went through the script a couple of times, and then Reed was like, let's do one more. We'll just ad-lib a little bit. I was like, okay, sounds good. And then I think at the end, we were just like, let's just run through it again because we were having so much fun.
Just riffing off each other for sure. It was good. The more the merrier in editing for sure. Had a lot of fun editing it. I always get nervous when people watch.
Well, does it suck?
No. I liked it, but the one thing is, when I edit the video, usually on Premiere, which is the editing software I use, it sounds good, and then I'm like, okay, sounds good, and then I export it, and I'm like, it still sounds good, but sometimes when I bring it onto YouTube, the levels or like the music in the background might be too high, and for like, so I'm just, that's
Is
only...
this going to suck?
No. I hope not. Yeah, and then also I want everything to just play good. So those are my worries. But it should play good.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to have some more fun like this. So when we first started
Nervous.
talking with Reed about stuff, I remember he told me the one thing. He goes, Dustin, I like skit comedy. I like, and he couldn't do any of that where he was. Like, what's he going to do? Play something hilarious on Ched? Like, that's not going to happen. So he wants to do more of this type of stuff. And I'm excited. Yeah, you're excited for it as like a YouTube guy. So we're going to have more like sort of pre-scripted bits moving forward. I think now that we've got a little bit of a bigger staff and we've got more time to maybe do some of this stuff. So this is the interview. This is the reason we ended up deciding that Reed Wilkins was the man for the job.
Yeah, so it's 3:25. I thought it was 3:45, but 3:25. And if you're listening on the audio stream, definitely I'd suggest turning over to YouTube if you have the sec. But if not, we will be uploading it later on Twitter.
Yeah, and you can hear it still on the audio stream, right? So
yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the interview here.
Here goes
nothing.
This goes. Okay.
Okay, thanks for the time today. Thanks for coming in. What'd you say your name was again?
Reed Wilkins.
I'm not familiar with it. No!
This is what I was talking about.
No,
this
you're
is what
keeping
I
it
fear.
on
This
here.
is what I fear.
Part
this
two
is what I fear.
coming up after 8.
How did it just? We'll give the other 3 minutes and 15 seconds a little bit later on. You want to try one more time? See, now this is this not a Wirecast issue? Like the program
Definitely
that we use?
Wirecast.
I think this is a Wirecast issue.
And that's ironic.
Damn.
That goes back to
The
me.
video started really nice.
Okay, let's try this again here. I
We're
knew.
gonna try- you want to try one more time? If
One
not,
more
we're going to put
time.
it out on social media. Anyway, we wanted to debut it on the show.
That's so good.
We want to debut it on the show, but if not, we'll just throw it up on social media. But
Okay, let's give it a go one more time.
we'll give it
here.
one more try. I don't know why it wouldn't play. Did you have like a setup, like in the video settings on the side?
Yeah, no, it's all good.
It'll
All right,
play
let's
this.
try one more
It'll
time.
play this.
Let's try one more time. Okay, thanks for the time today. Thanks for coming in. What'd you say your name was again?
Reed Wilkins.
I'm not familiar with it. Let's take a look at this. 6:30 Ched. What's that? Some sort of cheese company? Inside Sports. Oilers pre and post game. Wow, so much stuff. Was that a volunteer position?
No, that was my paid job.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you're probably familiar with the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh yeah, I covered them for several years.
Doesn't matter. Okay, now this is interesting. City TV. Which city?
Edmonton.
Well, why wouldn't they just call it Edmonton TV then?
Well, they had City TV in numerous...
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, sports anchor and director in Lloydminster, is that the Saskatchewan or the Alberta side?
Does it really matter?
No, probably doesn't matter. In Lloydminster, did you ever have a chance to hire me but decide to hire somebody else? Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. Okay, now this is interesting. Blockbuster Video, as in the Blockbuster Video, founded by David Cook, which at its peak had more than 9,000 stores.
Look, I worked there for 3 years, 30 years ago. I mean, it's not like I have any nostalgia for the company.
Do you remember those little rewinders that looked like cars to put the tape in so that it looked like a little hood of the car?
Yeah, I used one. You put the tape in, you hit a button, and it would rewind the tape for people.
Did you ever go to someone's house who had movies that were way overdue and threaten them with violence?
No comment.
When the store was empty, would you ever go into the adult film section and look at nudity?
Well, no, actually, we didn't rent pornography at Blockbuster. Very family-friendly environment.
That must have been why I went bankrupt.
I think online streaming might have contributed to that.
I highly doubt that works. Okay, well that should do it. Welcome aboard.
Excellent. And with whom shall I be working?
Don't worry about it. His name's Jason or something. He's kind of a nobody. I'd be surprised if he even lasts a year.
Nice.
And with whom shall I be working?
Did you ever go to someone's house who had movies that were way overdue and then threaten them with violence?
No comment.
Did you ever have to go to someone? Man, that was so. Trev, you put that. That was well done,
film.
man.
Oh, thanks, boy.
Well done putting that together, buddy. Sound effects and music in there.
And with whom am I?
Oh man,
that line killed me. I was sitting in the other room and I heard him just utter that. I'm like, ah.
That was well, yeah. So it's funny because Reed and I and Trev are in like the boardroom, and you guys are all sort of sitting around out here, and we just keep killing ourselves laughing. And yeah, with whom will I be working?
It was silent, and he just dropped that.
Was not on the script, and I'm sitting there and goes, good. And with whom will I be working? Absolutely killed me. Absolutely killed me. I'm glad it worked out. I wrote most of that at like midnight in a hotel room in Regina. I was just like, you know what? This could be pretty funny. And I know like Reed's sense of humor with the Blockbuster shirt, and then he pulls it back.
Well,
and he's just like brilliant stuff. Chef's kiss from Reed. Terrific stuff. So yeah, we're gonna post that. I'll post that on my social media. At the end of the show today, we'll get that out there to people.
Rob Crosby wants more outtakes. I think going behind the curtain and showing Reed laugh too was a nice thing.
There were a few. I didn't even know you were throwing the outtakes on the end. That was perfect.
Yeah.
There were a few outtakes that we couldn't. I had him almost pissing his pants one time.
But it was with the
adult video section. He was just like,
"That's what you get around here."
So yeah, I mean, Reed's gonna be hilarious. We're going to have more stuff like this kicking around. If you have any ideas on what you think would be funny bits, we're hoping to put some staff in place that could execute this type of stuff. So, yeah, you know what? We're going to run that back as Sound of the Day today. We'll hit that again later on, right? It's going to be Sound of the Day.
I thought you really hit him with that streaming question as well. He was speechless after that.
Yeah, that was real nice. Yeah. I got to have an AM signal to survive nowadays. So, what are you going to do about that, I guess, eh? I've already started a folder this week for hot takes. I guess it'll just be us. Well, there's nothing online. You got both things. Man, we're gonna have to come up with a third thing.
I'm flush. There's another pot holder in the. I've been sopping up coffee.
I thought that was your
I
pot holder.
thought that was.
No.
Yeah,
There's
so
two,
did I.
There's two of them. There's a matching set. So.
Well,
Dr. Nutsy Nielsen says, great skit. That Lloyd stare down was a great payoff. I thought you nailed that one perfect, Trev, with the music and everything.
he's just stone face, eh? Like, or he just nothing. Just absolutely. He's a stone cold killer.
Cold-blooded killer.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded killer. He ended up choosing Kevin Jesus over me. Now, with that being said, first of all, Kevin Jesus was a great hire.
Love the
Still
Jesus,
working in
yeah.
TV today.
Yeah.
Did I tell you how my buddy Boom hated Kevin Jesus?
Really?
Well, so quick background story on the stare down there between Reed and I and Lloyd. Drive to Lloyd to interview for he was sports director and he was hiring his number 2. Can't remember who the number 2 was before. But so I went to interview, and my buddy Boom was working in master, the best man. I mean, I didn't got married yet, but we ended up being the best men at each other's, tight. One of my best buddies. He was working in master control. That's the first job he got out of college. We never thought he'd even get a job out of college. He got the first
That's
hire.
a win, yeah.
It was just what? So he went up to Lloyd to work in master control. So we had this dream that we were going to live together in Lloyd. And we're just going to be the boys, best buddies, living in his apartment in Lloyd, having Vern's Pizza all the time.
Bobcats games.
And just living the best life. Yeah, Bobcats games. Being I'm in Saskatchewan. No, I'm in Alberta. It would have been great. So I drive out there to interview with Reed, and he ended up hiring Kevin Jesus. So Boom instantly hates Kevin Jesus. He's like, this guy ruined our great life that we were going to live together. I think Boom thought we were going to live together for the next 20 years.
Yeah, well.
So he's like, he ruined it. I got to hate Kevin Jesus. I said, well, me too, man, because I really wanted that. Anyway.
Not the guy that chose Jesus.
No. He hated Kevin Jesus.
Hate the guy that accepted the
Or his
job.
Babbage
not knowing
Stash
that-
texting this morning says, Kevin Jesus. Silent J.
Yes.
Anyway, then he calls me. It was like this confession. I went out to visit him. Go out. We always get the Vern's Pizza. Go back to his place. Start drinking. And he goes, I got to tell you something. I said, what, man? He goes, you know how I told you I'd always hate Kevin Jesus?
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I know. He goes, he's actually a really nice guy. He goes, I really like Kevin Jesus. So then Boom was friends with Kevin
How
Jesus.
did he come
for a
to
while.
this coming to Jesus
I think
moment?
Jesus
I guess,
is just a good dude.
Okay, but did
Yeah,
he meet
Kevin's
him
a
one
great
day?
guy.
I hate you, and then Jesus is like, well, no, I don't know what kind of turned him.
Boom
'cause-
really buys into grudges.
Yeah.
So for Kevin Jesus to win him over,
I know
must have
something
been
must
something.
have happened. I
Must
guess.
have been
He's
something.
found Jesus. Hey,
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
I think that's a good one. Krager says, when does Reed's show officially start? After Labor Day. After Labor Day weekend. Will be full 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. programming here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Rob over on the Nasty Chest says, Dusty's a pretty hard interviewer. Yeah, you know what? Got to ask the questions.
Yeah.
Can't just hire somebody all willy-nilly. That wouldn't be right. That was fun. We'll run that back in the 8 o'clock hour. Trev, great job, man.
Yeah.
Great job.
Real
Somebody
good,
just
real
said,
good.
cancel the Estes. We found the winner of every category. Best edited piece.
Yep.
You too, Trev. That could be you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Nasties, appreciate the support.
Yeah.
Glad you liked it.
It was,
had a lot of fun with it.
First, your star explodes on Oil Stream yesterday.
Yep.
And now this.
Yep.
Can't be stopped.
YouTube, Trev is hitting his own.
Yep. I'm
Getting
undefeated.
emotional here.
Undefeated.
One of our guys knocking out
Last
the
2
park.
days. Thanks, boys.
Congratulations, man. Great video. Nielson Show presented to you by Southfort Chevrolet. Check them out, www.southfortchev.com. All right, we need somebody to play Kind of Easy Trivia this morning. Hey, if you're watching over on YouTube, if I refresh this and we haven't changed 200 after dropping that video on you, I'm out. Six away.
Well.
Hammer the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube right now. We're going to change 200 here right away. Let's go. We need somebody to play Kind of Easy Trivia right now for Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual gift certificate to Mr. Mike's, where you can go have a 6 o'clocker lager. No big deal. Go get yourself some sirloin bites. They're absolutely delicious. Get that done. Mr. Mike's Steakhouse casual. Text Trev right now if you want to play. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Text Trev. Let him know you'd like to play Kind of Easy Trivia today. Win yourself a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's this morning. We've got Kind of Easy Trivia on the way here as well. Look at Trev's finger. He's got that changing 200 finger just locked and loaded. Is it going to happen? Oh, my God. Give it to us. What are we at? 205. Hit it.
Changing 200.
Changing 200. Once we get back to Oilers season, we're changing 500. Yeah. And then if we change 700, we could go 500 plus 200. And we can do both.
Double your funds.
Changing 1,200. 500, 200, 200, or 100. That'd be good. All right, if you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia, 780-218-9999. If you have any questions for 3 questions too many, fire them into the inbox. We'll get to that. If you're looking for work, look no further. Congratulations. You've just been hired. ClayburnServices.com is where you can find your new career. ClayburnServices.com. Eric's got more on that with a sports update coming down the pipe right now.
The Canadian men's basketball team improving to 2-0 in Paris with a 93-83 victory over Australia earlier this morning. Just getting underway, Canadian women's rugby sevens taking on Australia in semifinals action later on at 10 this morning. Canadian women's 3-on-3 basketball team will face Australia. Tomorrow, after receiving a 6-point deduction following Dronegate, the women's soccer team will battle Colombia for a chance to advance to the quarterfinals. Last night at Edmonton Sports Talk, the Edmonton Stingers with an 89-86 win over Winnipeg, capping the regular season with a 13-7 record. Stingers will get set to host the Western Conference semifinals on Sunday. Riverhawks baseball returns to Edmonton Sports Talk tonight. The club end the regular season with a 9-game road trip beginning in Victoria. Coverage begins at 7:30. Prospects also back home. They'll host the Brooks Bombers tonight out in Sherwood Park. Jays series continues with the Orioles later this afternoon. Chris Bassett will start. First pitch 4:35. Jays shipping out pitcher Yusei Kikuchi yesterday to the Astros for a handful of players. They also split yesterday's doubleheader with Baltimore. And according to TSN's Farhan Lalja, the Elks will look to Trey Ford at quarterback for their Week 9 visit to Saskatchewan. That game goes Saturday at 5. Week 9 will kick off in Winnipeg Thursday between the Lions and Bombers. Take your career to the next level with Clayburn Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they are an industry leader in safety. You can check them out today at www.clayburnservices.com or give Jeff a call, 780-910-6728.
Step closer to the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger. I wanna be that stupid boy that you don't talk about. You better believe there's a sharp knife beside my bed. You better believe there's a sharp knife inside my head. And if you would leave, I would take you by the hand. You and I would leave, but it wouldn't be that bad.
Whale and the Wolf, EST House Band. You'll hear them between shows every now and then. And I mean, every single time we're transitioning between shows, you'll get a little dose of Whale and the Wolf. You can text us anytime. 780-218-9999. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox. And Trev's going to connect us with somebody right away here. Just want to give you a quick shout out here to the 2024 Northern Edge Athletics Charity Street Hockey Tournament. That's going to be presented by Edmonton Sports Talk. This is going down August 23rd and 24th at the Ritchie Community League. I do believe you two, Trev and Zacticum, are working on having a team in this event. 2 days of 4-on-4 street hockey in support of Edmonton's Food Bank. It's going to be a licensed event. There'll be a beer garden, silent auction, skills competition, and other entertainment. You can go to edmontonsportstalk.com, click on Charity Street Hockey Tournament, and then click right there to register your team of 9. You're going to get a ton of games, 3 round-robin games, 4 playoff games, for a total of 7 games between the 2-day event, Friday night and then Saturday during the day, August 23rd and August 24th. One more time, you can go to northernedgeathletics.com/tourney, or you can just go to edmontonsportstalk.com, click on the link at the top of the page that says Charity Street Hockey, and then register your team of 9. They only need 16 teams to fill this bad boy, so you're going to have a 1 in 16 chance of winning this thing, which is real nice. So yes, edmontonsportstalk.com, click on Charity Street Hockey Tournament. Joaquin Gage is going to pop by. We'll get to Gager. I mean, he's all hot and horny over the F1 news that's been going around the last couple of days.
I have to ask him on that little sandwich he sent us later last night too. A little Home Alone, watching some Spa, Belgian GP.
What a nice
what did you think
life
was on
he's
top of
living.
that bun? It was bun, lettuce, and then some sort of meat. It looked like a piece of pork or something.
Right, you sent it to a group chat, right?
I didn't really.
Let's guess the meat.
Yeah, like I don't.
Oh wow, look at this!
Like we all gave it a hearty thumbs up. He makes some good plates, but
so there's a piece of toast.
Yeah.
Is that arugula?
It looks like an arugula. Yeah, you're very good on that.
I got it right.
Yeah.
Never had it. Is that the one that smells funny? What's the one my wife likes that smells funny? Cilantro. That's the freaks.
Good on a taco.
And then that to me, if I had to guess, did he say what it was?
Look like a pork belly or something? Or?
I think it's a chicken breast.
A chicken breast, yeah.
I think it's a chicken breast. It's a glazed. I'm gonna say it's a glazed honey chicken breast.
Love it.
We'll find out at 8:30 with Joaquin Gage. Nielsen Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Trey Ford apparently going to start here against the Riders. Your thoughts on that? 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up and give us a sub. We're closing in on 9,600 subs, then 97, then 98, which is too close to 99, then 99, and then 100. Or 10,000. Then we'll get to 10,000 subs, which will be terrific.
And we can celebrate then.
Well, of course we can celebrate
Officially,
10,000.
yeah.
Yeah, Maddie
Officially.
let us do that. I lost my show papers. They're somewhere in here with all these liners. There they are. All right, let's play kind of easy trivia. Who's playing today, buddy?
Norm in a combine.
Whoa, Norm in a combine. This guy's at the game last night. Saw Norm in a combine. He also became the first ever person to be baptized in 6 o'clock or lager.
Yep.
We're only going to do one at every single Nasty Bash. Next opportunity to have me pour 6 o'clock or lager on your head. Coming down the pipe at Nasty Bash 3, Normology's Revenge. Let's bring in Norm in a combine today for Mr. Mike's, casualest place ever, Hampton Inn. It's in the corner of 137th Ave, Mark Messier Trail in the Hampton Inn. It's absolutely delicious. Norm in a combine, how about the finish at the basketball game last night, buddy?
That was amazing.
God.
Totally amazing.
It's weird when your team almost lets one slip away, but they still win and everybody's just pumped.
Well, the way that, however, that finishes that, whatever we call it, extra time or whatever, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's the first time I've seen that.
It's cool.
That was unreal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it gives Winnipeg a chance to get back into it. They led at 84, 83, or 85, 84 or something.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah. Even Sticky Rice was on the edge of her seat.
She did look like the most bored person in the entire place. She did. It looked like you forced her to be there last night, Norm. I liked it. That was good. All right, the couple that goes to Stingers games together stays together. Long known fact. All right, Norm. Trev will start the ticker here after I read the first question. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Gift certificate to Mr. Mike's up for grabs. Oh, this is gonna be an easy one. You better get this one. What sport do the Stingers play?
Basketball.
Which team traded Kikuchi yesterday?
The Blue Jays to my Astros.
Which city is home to baseball's Astros?
Houston.
What country is Leon Draisaitl from?
He is from Germany.
What sport does Summer McIntosh compete in?
Swimming, I believe.
Yeah, got it. 5 for 5. Norm in a combine gets the job done.
Sergio Ramos gets a nipple erection.
Oh, is that dirty?
This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream of orgasmic proportions.
Oh, is that dirty?
Frustration sets in and the emotion goes out, and then you just start playing by yourself.
Oh, is that dirty?
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
8:11 on the Nielson Show. Once again, kind of easy trivia brought to you by Mr. Mike's. If you've been to Mr. Mike's, you know you're going back. If you haven't been to Mr. Mike's yet, what are we even doing here? Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. It's in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave at Mark Messier Trail. I suggest you go get a room.
Oh.
At the hotel.
Usually
have
when you
some
say,
lunch.
go get a room.
Have some dinner.
Yeah.
All at Mr. Mike's. This one is in. It says, guys, I'm listening late on the podcast. Back to Skechers. I got Skechers golf shoes. They are amazing. That's from the other Ryan out in Saskatchewan.
They look like a golf shoe. That should be like, that should be their.
Yeah, I mean, they're very
their
comfortable
main
like that.
fleet. Yeah.
Dumb Pete. And it says, I'm way behind catching up on the Friday show. But his animated man been suggested category for the handsome man draft. Your Gastons, your Prince Erics, and the like. That's a real good idea.
It's a man draft. Yes.
Animated man. That's you know what, Gaston. What a jawline on that guy. Now he was a jerk. I took a photo yesterday because somebody texted in. Here we are. I think it was Joelle. She was bored yesterday. Sent in kind of bored and figured a million things as categories for the sexiest man. First of all, once again, it's not sexiest man category. It's the handsome man draft.
Because Quinn, the
it's
handsome,
happening in August. Quinn's a handsome woman.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense that our commissioner would conduct a handsome man draft. Silver Fox. Great category. Oh, Trev over there. Oh, yeah. Got to have a Silver Fox category.
Ron Perlman.
Superhero, villain, policeman, actor who played a rock star, hottest country singer. Like, stop saying hottest. We're not judging these men on their hotness. We're judging them on how handsome they are. There's a difference between handsome and hotness.
It's all in the eye of the beholder, right?
There is. But I like that. The animated man. The animated handsome man. That's a good suggestion, dumb Pete. Thanks for being here, buddy. 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers Inbox is where you can chime in this morning. And hey, if you're watching over on YouTube today, let's hammer that thumbs up and give us a sub if you haven't already, especially if you're watching archived a little bit later on. All right, let's get into we got That Hurts coming up. It's a Nathan Rourke conversation today. One that we have to have.
For Nathan's sake.
Yeah.
Like we're coming together for him.
It's like an advice
We need to get him in a room, circle him around with chairs. Yeah.
I think so. Greatness awaits, my man. Greatness awaits. Anyway, let's get in 3 questions too many today. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
3 questions too many brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, including dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, and the entire staff would like to congratulate a great regular season by the Edmonton Stingers, finishing second in the West as they await the semifinals this Sunday. Your dealer for life.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Hopefully the Riverhawks could also go out on this 9-game road trip and do some damage and maybe a home playoff game in August.
The Stingers get the winner of the Surge and the Sea Bears, who they played last night.
Correct. And the Surge, actually, second half of the season, we're coming on. I mean, they kind of...
Wait a second. Say it. Go ahead. Say it.
Yeah, they were surging. Yeah. Finishing just behind Edmonton, but yeah. I
guess you could say Calgary. Oh, my board's not working.
Yeah. But the Stingers fear nobody, as they should. So we'll see.
Oh, here we go. I guess you. Oh no, I'm not. I got to reconnect. I have to disconnect from the phone. Wannick's going to come in today again, and we're going to be like, "Hey man, board." So he's going to lose his mind.
He's going to be
But he's got to stop pretending he fixed it.
Yeah.
He has to stop pretending that he fixed it, man. Like it's just not the case anymore. Long pause, waiting for it to connect. I don't think it's working.
Yeah, especially given the whole Trey Ford stuff right now. Like Matty's on quite a high, as he should be. Usually is. Very confident man. But I'm going to exit the studio when he gets in this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Because he will be...
I guess you could say Calgary's CEPL team has been surging. Tell me that wasn't worth the wait. Tell me that wasn't worth the wait. Woo! Have you already plugged your Twitter account?
No, but I've just tweeted out a picture of, I said, if you were selecting first overall in a handsome man draft, who would you select? And maybe I'm showing my cards here a little too early, but at Lieutenant_Eric is where you can go for this.
We're looking at like a mid to late August draft here.
Whatever. No, not too early to start planning. I also retweeted Klima's lid. He's at The Attack 41 or something, but he had a good shot of his children with Zach down there at the tailgate over the weekend. So Zach's.
I think he also had his boys with us on the wall at Commonwealth.
Love it.
Pretty sure I saw that.
Two nice Elks hats. One's
nice.
curved, one's a straight brim.
How dare he and his kids support the football team?
Yeah. Don't they know hockey season's coming up?
Kids still have a great time.
Yeah.
At the football games. My kids love it. They're it's like, yeah, it just destroys them. They're just dead tired after a football game. And after the Stingers game last night, they might all still be sleeping. My kids don't sleep in past 8 o'clock usually. Let me do the.
It was a big party night there, though.
Well, that's the thing. Let's take a
buzzer beater win.
Let's take a quick peek in on the Nielsen children this morning. I bet you Marshall's still. Oh, look at this. They're both still sleeping.
I love it.
A couple of sleepy heads right there.
Yeah, well,
look at them. They're all out waking up for a while.
When did they go to sleep? I mean, you're buzzing. They got
Little
home. They're
buggers.
probably
I had
just
to get
buzzing
up.
off that win. Hey, like.
Oh yeah, they were.
How do you get them down?
Yes, my kids were buzzing after the Stingers win. Stop it, Eric.
Marshall, one more dark rum, Daddy. just one more before we hit the hay.
Who's offering up dark rum anyway? Like, who goes to a sporting event and
Yeah.
says, "I'll have a dark rum, sir"? Honestly, anybody listening right now, if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tell your friends. Watching over on YouTube, let us know. Last night I got poured a dark rum. I had for spice rum. They gave me a dark rum. I don't like to make an issue, so I sucked it up and drank it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, that 40 that they had, or the 2.6 or whatever, it was pretty full.
Well, she said, and let's get back to this here. You ordered a spice rum. You said, "Is this spiced?"
I asked her.
again, and she said, "What? This is rum?"
I said, "Hey, this is yeah." I said to her, "Is that spiced? Because I'm looking at the spiced over here."
Yeah.
She goes, "This is rum, sir."
Confidently
keeps
keeps pouring.
"Oh, damn it, that's not
I went to a place the other day.
I would have rather
ordered-
had vodka than the dark rum.
I ordered a burger. And I knew this burger traditionally comes with pickles. I said, "I'll have this, no pickles." She goes, "There aren't any pickles on it." I kind of look at her. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Please tell me the pickles did not show up in this
Puts in the order. I get a burger swimming in pickles, and I'm just like, "You." But the confidence in saying, "No, sir, you are wrong."
Yeah.
For saying is that spice.
Yeah.
I okay, and I didn't fight back, but then I got served
Bold
my
move. Like
plate
she's
of pickles.
pouring the rum. I'm looking at the rum. I'm seeing it upside down.
Wrong, and still like
KRAD. I was like,
this is fine.
that says dark backwards, upside down.
Yeah, it's a tough look when you're that confident in the wrong thing. Like,
but who goes to a sporting event and has a dark rum?
At a basketball, sipping
At a
a dark
basketball
rum.
game,
at a
sipping
basketball
dark
game.
rum.
Get a hot toddy next time,
No.
maybe
Excellent 3-point attempt. Dark rum. Should have had it on the bloody rocks.
with your Skechers.
Amazing time though. Still, I mean, the dark rum didn't ruin the night for me, but I'm still sitting here wondering who serves dark rum at an event. All right, question number 1.
Who serves dark rum at an event?
Well, I'm sorry. Not once have I ever been like.
You know who? The Stingers. That's who.
You go get some vodka. You go get some spice rum. You go get some maybe some white rum.
Sure.
But nobody's bringing out dark rum.
Maybe a rye even, but
What is
no.
this, my parents' house? 30 years ago, the
Ask
same
for-
bottle of dark rum that's been sitting there since one of their drunk friends brought it over when they were in their 20s, for goodness sakes.
Ask for a sherry after your next hot dog or something.
That's what I should have.
Do you have any brandy snifters here?
Big Maple over the Nasty Chest says Jeffrey Dahmer gets a dark rum at a sporting event. That's who. That's probably what people are thinking now. Probably thinking I'm eating people. Right? He was the eater of people, Dahmer? Yeah, gross. Yeah. What a weirdo. All right, question number 1. Do you guys think if Trey struggles early against the Riders, they go back to MBT?
Probably.
No.
Like, look, there's two things here. There's what you think and what we think and what probably the general populace and everybody thinks. But then there's also taking and you brought it up a couple times, what the Elks have done and what they do. So it's. I think it'd be fair to think that. Should they? No. But given everything that's happened, why didn't they put him in at the half, right? Like,
I want to get to the point with this where they like Trey has 2 possessions, doesn't work, they go back to MBT. Then they say MBT is going to start against BC. They lose against BC again. Then Jarius Jackson goes, or like Lawlisher or G-Roy go to him and go, "Hey, we'd like you to go Trey Ford." He goes, "Nope, I'm going MBT." So then they come back down, and G-Roy and Rick sit down with him and go, "Listen, you can't start MBT." And he goes, "Well, the lineup card's mine. I'm starting MBT."
as an interim
And then they
coach,
go,
AD,
"Actually, you can't because he's been released." Just like in Moneyball when they traded Giambi and Carlos Pena because they wouldn't play Hatterberg. Right? Art Howe refused to play Hatterberg. So Billy Bean, in the ultimate one-up from a GM perspective, takes old little Jonah Hill into the room and sits down and goes, We're going to have to play Hatteberg at first. Billy, the card is mine. I like Pena at first. You can't play Pena at first. I'm going to play Pena at first. You can't. He's been traded.
Take away the option. Just take it away.
You're killing this team, he said. Take away the option.
It's the pacifier to the toddler. Right? Just done. It's gone. There's no option.
MBT release. Prukop traded to the Stampeders.
Prukop starts.
That's it.
Trey still can't get in.
Yeah. You're out. I would think at this point you got to let Trey just play. There's no short leash.
Well, then there's no garbage time, this and that, or whether.
If it goes well, it goes well. If it goes bad, let him learn.
Let's see
from
what we
this.
got. Yeah.
Question number 2. Do you guys think there's any way Draisaitl refuses to take anything less than $14 million? I think you could get him at less than $14 million.
13 point what?
Well, like 13.5 for sure makes him the highest paid player in the league until McDavid comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to make you the highest paid player in the league. I think 13.375 or something would be like. So yeah, I do think I think there's no chance Draisaitl's just saying it's 14 mil or I'm out. I think it probably would come in at less than that.
Yeah, and there should be like a back and forth here between the two parties, given where the team's at right now. So
I think it's fair and reasonable that he becomes the highest paid player in the National Hockey League, whatever it is, even if it's by a loony. He becomes the highest paid player in the National Hockey League until the next guy who's in the top 10 becomes available. And then it's Connor McDavid, and he becomes the highest paid player in the National Hockey League. And then when McKinnon's contract is up before McDavid's next time, or when Bedard becomes eligible and he's one of the top 5 to 10 players in the league, he becomes the highest paid player. That's how it works for these guys. When your contract's up, you get the most. That's what he's going to get. It doesn't have to be 14 to check that box. Trev, what do you think? You can come in at 13, 13.3, 13.4.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was anything over 14. He didn't set the bar when he signed his last contract. Obviously, he wasn't the player back then.
He wasn't the player then, yeah.
But, I think he's going to be the highest paid player whenever he puts the pen to paper.
And he should be.
He should be, absolutely. He's done more than Austin Matthews. And Matthews has that right now at 13.25. I could see him coming at, like 13.5. I don't think it'll be much more than Matthews, but when it's all said and done, he will be the highest paid player in the NHL.
And that is the way that it should be.
And playing hardball, you're knocking on the door of a Stanley Cup here, right? Yeah. There's no need to...
Like right now, to become the highest paid player in the league, he needs to go 13.26. Matthews is 13.25. So somewhere between 13.3 and 13.5 is probably going to be the number on Leon Draisaitl on an 8-year deal. And that's just... I don't even know if there really needs to be much negotiation. How are the others going to play hardball with him? You're not. Jeff Jackson has this thing sitting there on a platter for Stan Bowman to take credit for, and it's going to get done. Kyle the Embalmer says, I want to watch Connor take 12.5 just to leave money for the team to spend because he doesn't need the money, and the NHLPA will lose its mind.
Well,
that's not going to be, I highly doubt that happens either. Gord says, Dry at 12.5, McDavid 13.5, Bouchard 9.5. They all take $1 million less. Look, if Bouchard, McDavid, and McDavid's already there. He's got the third highest cap hit right now. What's happened since he got that? Nathan McKinnon got more money. Austin Matthews got more money. These are the guys. Draisaitl's in that tier. Draisaitl gets more money than those guys now. That's how the cycle works. That's how the salaries keep going up. And we'll see. But right now, 10.5 for Bouchard would make him the 13th highest paid player in the league. Now, Draisaitl's about to get a deal done. Rantanen's about to get a deal done. But you're looking at having 3 guys among the top 20 highest salaries in the National Hockey League. So you got to be careful with the rest of that group. But yeah, it'll come somewhere in 13, I think. 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in. RCN doing some math for us over in the in the inbox. Austin Matthews got 15.06% of an $88 million cap, which is $13.25 million. The cap is pegged at 92.5. 15.06% of that is $13.93 million. So that would put you at the same percentage of the cap that Austin Matthews got, which would make a lot of sense. RCN, thanks for sending that over. So could we look at, if it comes in at 13.5 for Leon, is it technically a little bit of a discount? Because it could have been a little bit higher based on percentages. Maybe. We'll try to spin it that way for sure. Question number 3, then we'll get to that Hurts coming up here as well. Or maybe we'll save that Hurts for after Gager. Let me just move that Hurts, because I think you and I want to chime in a little bit more on that Hurts here.
Quickly as well, the Canadian women's rugby sevens team victorious. They're going to compete for gold now. They defeated Australia. We're just kicking Australia's ass up and down the Olympics this
Poor
morning.
Australia.
21-12 Canadian women, so they're off to the final for the rugby sevens.
How much does that sting for Australia? First of all, you're already stuck on the bottom of the earth, and now Canada's just walking all over you.
It's winter there, isn't it even?
Oh, my God.
It's just these are the winter games, I guess, for them it would be. Or,
that is interesting.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I've never thought about that before.
Every time I think about Australia, I think about that whole seasonal change shift thing.
Well, maybe we can't blame them.
Maybe.
How are they supposed to ramp up for the summer games?
They're always against it.
When you're sitting here in the middle of winter. Huh. All right, let's get to this one. Guys, it's National Whistleblower Day. What would you guys like to blow the whistle on? Have you ever been part of blowing the whistle on somebody or something?
Like a narc?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe National Whistle. This has got to be an American thing. Only the United States of America would have National Whistleblower Day.
Don't know. I'm just trying to think what.
I fell asleep watching Snowden last night. That guy blew a whistle.
He blew
that
a whistle.
That guy blew a major whistle.
Yeah.
That's a weird twist.
Yeah.
I fell asleep watching Snowden the very night before National Whistleblower Day. Let's see here. Basically, what do I want to rat out on? I don't know. I mean,
I'd like to blow the whistle on the
around good stuff.
The neighbors who live next to me, younger couple, but not too, shall we say, respected of their property, letting the weeds grow all over their back driveway and everything. I mean, it looks like a mess. I'd blow the whistle on. What do I phone? 311, 211, 411, right? You get
who knows?
The city comes out there and gives them a spanking.
My good friend Suits was on probation. He was on water probation in North Vancouver.
Okay.
Because you had to pay extra if you wanted to water during a time when you're not supposed to water. So it was like $60, and he had just planted a bunch of new stuff. So he was like, I got to have it. I just planted a bunch of new stuff.
Tomato plants.
And the day his $60 permit ran out, he says it's like he's outside water, and you're allowed to water the bushes. You were just not allowed to water your lawn.
Yeah.
He said he was watering the bush. Somebody pulled up to him and said, "Excuse me, sir, your permit's expired." He goes, "Well, I'm just watering the bush." And they go, "But some of that water's dripping off your hose onto the yard." I was like, "Holy smokes!" North Van is hard up for water, and it's the most ironic thing ever because it's right on the ocean. That's classic.
Waste not, what not.
What a twist there. I can't think of anything I'd want to. I guess I don't know enough deep secrets of people that really blow the whistle.
That's what you're
on
learning here. As you
I would like to write a book one day about the Edmonton media. I think that would be fun. Not necessarily like a whistleblowing, but just a tell-all story, It'd be a fun one. I think it'd be a bestseller. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
One of those books with the black and white photos right in the middle.
There's a few tales there that have not been told.
So whistleblowing, I'm kind of confused here. That's tattling on someone?
Pretty much. I always call out Elizabeth on it. I said, "Stop blowing the whistle on your brother."
I never heard that one before.
You haven't?
Nah, I'll have to think on that.
Yeah.
Might come back
Well,
to
that's
it
the thing. Is it really worth blowing the whistle on if you can't come up with it right away? It can't be that bad a deal.
No. Yeah, that's fair.
All right, that wouldn't make any sense. All right, we got Joaquin Gage on the way. Is he sitting or sleeping right now? Because the sports update is now brought to you by Sit and Sleep.
Yeah.
Sit and Sleep. They are now open. South Edmonton Common, right next to Planet Fitness. So you can go in, get a pump up in, and then go buy a chair and a couch and a bed. You can get it all done at Sit and Sleep. Eric's got more details on that. You can text us anytime at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Joaquin Gage on Formula One movement. And then that hurts for SBLLP. Nathan Rourke, I hope you're watching, listening. And if you are, please subscribe to the channel here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Sports Update with LT right now.
Over to Paris, where Canada improved to 2-0 in men's basketball today with a 93-83 win over Australia. Felix Auger-Aliassime, he roared into the third round of the men's singles tennis with a decisive victory over Germany's Maximilian Marterer. Canadian women's rugby sevens team, they'll compete for gold as they just defeated Australia 21-12. Canadian women's 3-on-3 basketball team will take on Australia later today at 10. And tomorrow, after receiving a 6-point deduction following the drone episode, the women's soccer team will battle Colombia with a chance to advance to the quarterfinals. Closer to home, Stingers capping the regular season with an 89-86 win over Winnipeg down at the Expo Center last night. Stingers 13-7 to cap the regular season. They'll host the Western Conference semifinals on Sunday. Riverhawks baseball back on Edmonton Sports Talk tonight. The club in Victoria to kick off a 9-game road trip. Coverage starts 7:30. Prospects, they're also back home. They'll host the Brooks Bombers out in Sherwood Park's Centennial Field 9. Jays series continues at the Orioles later this afternoon after yesterday's split. Chris Bassett will start, first pitch 4:35. And according to TSN's Farhan Lalji, Elks will start Trey Ford at quarterback for their Week 9 visit to Saskatchewan. That game will go Saturday at 5. Week 9 kicks off in Winnipeg Thursday between the Lions and Bombers. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months interest-free and be entered to win your purchase up to $5,000 on furniture and home decor. You also get a little white glove service on your purchase with full setup and installation next to Planet Fitness in South Edmonton Common.
Daddy. 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 Okay, here we go. Daddy. 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 Okay. Okay, here we go.
Turn down for what? Daddy likes. Turn down for what? Daddy likes. Turn down for what?
Okay, here we go. Daddy. Daddy. Okay.
Daddy likes.
I don't give a damn. Daddy likes. Daddy. Daddy.
Draisaitl, the duck hunter.
Daddy likes.
Daddy likes.
Daddy likes.
Oh, Flooding in the Dark just started playing. Oh, by the way, the kids and I and Tam yesterday.
Have you laid it down?
What's that?
You started the outdoor rink?
No. Can you imagine that?
I thought that's right. Maybe.
No, I might as well.
Got the boards.
I might as well get ready. Don't have time in the fall that I get the boards. I might as well get them up now because I got so much time.
Well, you're not doing the basketball.
Yeah. So very quickly, last night on the way to the Stingers game, song came on the radio. Myself, Tam, Marshall, and Muzz pretty much wrote a new song for EST while we were listening to it.
Oh.
And it's going to be a good one. And it's going to be a plea to two individuals in this city. That's all I can say right now. We're going to try to get that out here at some point.
A plea to two individuals in the city?
Mm-hmm. Huh. Mm-hmm. Think about it. All right, before we bring in Gager, let's bring in Gager's supper from last night. Let's take a quick look at this. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. If you are listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, we will describe it to you. We hit on it a little bit earlier. We're trying to guess what this meat is on the top of Gager's bread and arugula.
Yeah, a nice toasted looks like a slice of thick bread.
Could it be lamb?
Lamb, an interesting choice. Gage, you're home alone last night, too, and catching up on the F1.
Yeah.
I do wonder where he goes.
A little bit of a foodie there.
Yeah, and slinging those dogs at Commonwealth. I'll have to ask him, too, because he was down. I saw him in the tailgate. Wanted to get his thoughts on the couple laps he did down there Sunday evening. But
does it look like a chicken thigh? Is
Yeah,
that a chicken thigh?
I originally thought some sort of glazed chicken.
I'm going with pork belly.
Chicken thigh for me.
If you're watching over on YouTube, what is your guess? Big Maple says that's definitely not lamb. I just wanted to say lamb.
It's probably
I
chicken.
really don't know what lamb looks like.
It's probably chicken.
What's lamb look like, boys? I don't know what lamb looks like. Kyle the Bomber says steak. Big Maple says that looks like a chicken thigh. Chicken. My guess is chicken. Is it a chicken thigh? Well, let's get to the big reveal. Joaquin Gage joins us on the show this morning. Gager, was that indeed a chicken thigh?
It was not a thigh. It was breast, but it was done in a way that I saw on TikTok. So anyone who gets chicken is right. So I'm I saw this thing on TikTok. I don't know. I tried it.
So how'd you do it? How'd you do this?
So 2 chicken breasts in the food processor with a potato, egg, breadcrumbs, garlic, red onion, and cilantro, whipped together and then formed into like basically a chicken nugget. And I made just with honey garlic sauce on top. Over
a bed of honey glaze.
Arugula.
Honey, you said
I
honey.
said honey glaze.
You said honey.
Over a bed of
arugula
arugula. Listen to you, eh? Holy smokes.
With a big thick garlic toast. So it was okay.
How was it?
It wasn't,
it was okay. Yeah.
It was okay. Yeah. I gotta do something. Something's missing in it. So, but it.
What do you think about a big piece of cheddar cheese on top of that? You know.
I was thinking maybe a little, like some grated parm on top.
That would work too.
You know?
Yeah, just a little sprinkling, like what is it when it looks like little hairs? What's that one?
Shredded.
No, not shredded. It's like very thin. I don't know what the name would be.
Parmesan?
I know it's Parmesan, but it's
shredded, grated.
It's not shredded. It's not grated. It looks
string cheese.
I can't. I know how to describe it. I don't want to describe it, but
Google it.
You know what I mean, Gage. The cheese.
I do. Yeah.
I think you put some of that on it to make it look fancy. Have you ever thought about trying to go on like Canada's Next Chef or whatever, or go on a Gordon Ramsay show?
No, not at all. Not with those people. They're professionals. My brother-in-law, he should. He's ridiculous.
Really?
Like, oh my God, yeah. He's next level. He's next level chef. He should have been on one of those shows when they started, because when you go over to his place, it's restaurant quality from wherever. Like he'll do smoking, everything. Even his daughters have joined the fray, and they make special things. Like birthday parties at his place are the best because you just say what you want, and it's either like burger bars or make your own poke bowls. Like it's crazy. That
sounds real nice.
Gage, I wanted your thoughts too. I had the privilege of bumping into you at the Elks tailgate there on Sunday. Did you get any bites? Make your way around? Did you see any more ideas for you in terms of what people were cooking up down there?
Well, I had some. I got the kitchen ready early, so I thought, you know what? I haven't been to the tailgate. I got to check this thing out. So I did a lap. It was, and checking out the food. What a relaxed atmosphere at the Elks tailgate. It's so, I mean, the chairs, everyone's got their grills going. There's drinks everyone's conversing. That was, like you guys have talked it up, and I kind of had, you know how sometimes you have that picture in your mind of what things are going to be, but it completely surpassed everything. For a team that sucks, I mean, that was
it's a great tailgate.
Undefeated.
Unbelievable. That was just unbelievable. So, I didn't get to sample any of the foods, but hopefully next time I'll whip through there and maybe grab a bite as well.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that tailgate if the Elks were 7-2 or something? Wow. Like it's gonna be when they turn it around, man. It's gonna be absolutely amazing there. A couple more food ones. You brought by a box of corn dogs and hot dogs for the crew. They were loving it. I took some back to the truck. I'm like a god in there. But what was that? Was that donair meat in the little flatbread? What was that?
That's a donair sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you?
I took the tomato out, and then it was real nice.
It was good,
nice.
huh?
Yeah,
those are really good.
It was pretty good, buddy.
Yeah. Those are nice. Not many people know about that. I brought one home. My daughter crushed it. She was like, "What's this?" And I go, "Oh, it's just a donair sandwich." And I swear, I turned my back and turned back, and she was licking her lips afterwards. So,
I didn't even know that you guys had that. It was a classic. Who the hell is that all of a sudden?
Yeah.
What the hell is that all of a sudden down there? It was you're cranking things up there. I like that. It's funny. Calvin C says Dusty's looking for plum sauce to dip that chicken that Gager had. So yesterday, Maddie and I had a meeting with somebody at Earl's, and so we pop in there, and they took my favorite blackened chicken sandwich off the menu for some reason. All-time bad decision. I don't even know why I go there anymore. Anyway, Maddie gets sushi for lunch, and I got the chicken tenders and French fries for lunch because I haven't had the chicken tenders yet. They're very blah. I'll just say it. They weren't great chicken tenders, but I had to try them because I hadn't tried them yet. So that's my latest chicken tender story. All right,
I'm just happy to be here, Dusty, with all the news and read. I thought I was going to be a cap casualty when I got the email this morning to join. I'm pleasantly surprised. So this is
cap casualty.
Wow, Gage, with the rating that you put out on Twitter yesterday, where's this? Your EA Sports 2002 overall rankings. You saw that, hey?
We can't cap casualty a guy who had a 70 overall.
I mean, come on, you kidding me?
Why do you think I did that? I was trying to boost my stats. So,
yeah, 2 guys in the goalie is turning into 2 radio guys. That's it. That's a new show moving forward. 2 guys in the goalie coming up today at noon with myself, Cass and Gager. That'll be brought to you by GS Construction. Gager, a couple of interesting storylines here. Formula One coming out of the weekend and then rolling into some news as we head into the summer break. First of all, thoughts on George Russell not winning, and his teammate Lewis Hamilton ended up getting his second victory of the season.
First of all, very interesting race, because when has it been that after 23 laps, we still didn't know who was going to win that race, right? The biggest thing I took out of the last weekend in Belgium was the fact that Max didn't go through the top 10 like butter, like he normally does.
Yeah.
He couldn't get there, but interesting. And I read something that was one of the reasons that George could have won and not been disqualified. I guess Spa is one of the only tracks where they don't really have a cool down lap afterwards, or it's restricted in a way. And that's a time when other cars will go around and pick up those what's called pebbles, or the little bits of rubber, and they'll stick to the tires, where you can actually add some extra weight to the car, and that little amount could have actually all accumulated could have put George Russell still first on the podium. So
tire pebbles.
Wow, monumental mistake by Mercedes to cut it that close. The bottom line.
Yeah, well, unless you're Lewis. Mind you, you had double points sitting there, like double big points in that constructor standings, and it's been a very interesting development there. There was some buzz that Red Bull might move away from Checo during the summer break, and Danny Ricciardo left Spa with Max in a helicopter, and people are like, "Oh my God, like they're together." But it looks like they're gonna stick with the plan. Do you think it's the right idea?
Yeah. And this is how I know what I'm talking about, because I was thinking the same thing watching Tim Hauraney yesterday, and he said one of the major factors is the Mexico Grand Prix is coming up, and there's a lot of sponsorships that comes with Checo. So maybe if the Mexico Grand Prix happened in the start of the season before the summer break, decisions might have been different. But he still has his home race coming up, and Tim made some really good points when he said that, how long does it take for whoever, if they're going to get rid of Checo, and Daniel Ricciardo is the guy that goes in there, how long does it take him to get, up to speed with that Red Bull car? Like you saw, it took a while when he joined, Red Bull car when he first came back. It took a while, right? And now with the constructors being so tight, I just don't think Red Bull's not in a position where they were in previous years that if this was going to happen, they would need a guy that's going to hit the ground running. They can't afford to not, finish in the points if they want to get compete for the constructors by the end of the season.
Joaquin, also Williams Racing yesterday issuing a tweet around this time with just the eyes emoji, to which I promptly sent it to our F1 group chat there on Twitter. But Carlos Sainz now joining. Williams now have a tweet: our 2025 lineup locked in, 2 formidable drivers, 1 bold ambition, history in the making, fire emoji. Your thoughts on Sainz to Williams?
Well, I'm sure, just like you, Eric, I was as shocked as the world was to see Logan Sargent being ousted from that seat.
He's our guy.
I don't understand it. He's our Latifi. Exactly. He replaced Latifi so well for these years. But no, I mean, 2 really good drivers, and that Williams car is it's really good on certain tracks, and we can see what Albon's been able to do it in certain times of the year. Very good in qualifying. For Williams to get two experienced, really good drivers. I think, looking forward to next season. Hopefully they can, by the time that the new regulations come in, I could see Williams being more of a factor in that middle pack.
Gage, as always, buddy, we appreciate it, man, and we'll chat with you on Two Guys and a Goalie.
Can't wait.
All right, there you go. That's Joaquin Gage. Server Brett was saying, why does he work at Commonwealth? And it's through the dance program for his daughter. Gager's daughter is very good at dance, and her registration costs are $2.5 million a year to be
traveling
to
the States. Good, that's
So instead of having to pay the $2.5 million, Gager just slings wieners at Commonwealth.
He gives his time. Yeah,
that's
rotating kitchen type of deal.
He's the meat man.
If you see him, you see him.
He is the meat man.
I loved seeing him in the tailgate, though. I need more of that. He should do one lap every day, get the kitchen ready to go for the game, and a game day walk. You do them. It's one of those things
I pop by quickly.
Yeah.
I'd like to spend more time and get there a little bit early. If I wasn't coming with the kids, I don't want Tam and the kids have to be there so early before the game.
Yeah.
But if I'd like to come a couple hours before the game and just sort of walk around, say hi to everybody, it'd be a lot of fun. Portion of the show brought to you by our great partners over at Alley Cat, the geniuses behind the 6 o'clocker lager, bringing you everything from Skona Gold to Apricot, Mandalorian, the main squeeze, and everything in between. Check them out, www.alleycat.com, or go visit their tap room, 9929 60th Ave. 6 o'clocker lager has obviously been a major success with our partners over at Alley Cat. And you know what? If you love the 6 o'clocker lager, you'll love a lot of their other beers as well, and they're always churning out new stuff. So go make sure to check out the tap room or visit their website. The more details there, www.alleycat.com. Like I said, the tap room, 9929 60th Ave. That's where we launched the 6 o'clocker lager, and boy, was that a good party. That was a fun night as well.
Shotgunned a couple of those puppies at the.
Yeah, well, you have to.
You got to see how they go down.
You can't create a beer and not shotgun it.
Is it shotgunnable? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is. It is.
All right, man. At the Nasty Bash, with 2 kegs. I think we went through 2 kegs.
Baptizable as well.
2 kegs of 6 o'clocker lager, and all the birdie booze they brought in. Fergie, we're gonna need more birdie booze next year. And we were out of we shot all the birdie booze they had by 10 o'clock. Then it was on to Burt Reynolds and Fireballs. So we needed more birdie booze.
And whatever box pounder was concocting in the parking lot. Right?
I
saw Schmitty yesterday from Strathcona Spirits. He was at the basketball game.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think they're going to do a photo shoot with Smash Mash this week at Strathcona Spirits. So if you've not yet picked up the birdie booze, what are you doing? Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, birdie booze, absolutely delicious. You're going to love it.
Right back at it. Reed Wilkins.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the air in September.
But he didn't realize that HR Daddy in his contract put in fine print, very fine print, that says you will be Smash Mash whenever is required.
His schedule for August is quite busy.
You're going to be a busy boy. The show doesn't launch till early September. Reed Wilkins Show, weekdays 3 to 6 right here on EST. If you missed the interview, we'll run that back for you. But let's get into that hurts for SBLLP. Personal injury lawyers. If you're hurt, you're injured, they'll look after you. The experts at SBLLP have the experience to gather your evidence, advance your claim, and get you that cha-ching fair compensation. The best part is you don't need to be intimidated by the process. You know why? Because they make it so easy. www.sb-llp.com. Click on personal injury or call 438-5281. You know what we need? We need another company on board that does risky stuff so we can send people to them to do the risky stuff. Like zip line or something.
We can call it risky business.
They get hurt, and then they go to SBLLP.
That liner though is perfect, almost tailor-made to the subject that we're going to be talking about, right? Like
Personal
getting
injury.
gotta get that bling. He's trying to, but you can get it up here as well, right?
No need to feel shame. Let SBLLP handle the claim. Yeah, we do want to quickly hit on Nathan Rourke, who apparently is going to work out for the Atlanta Falcons today.
It's enough.
Atlanta just used a top 10 pick on a quarterback. They just brought in a veteran quarterback. They also have Taylor Heineke there.
Yep.
What are you going to accomplish by going to Atlanta? I want to know
what he's going to be doing. What are they going to have him doing? Like, is he going to be
Nathan Rourke is such a good guy and such a talented football player. It's killing us to see him toiling away, trying out on teams that really have no interest of actually allowing him to play football south of the border.
How long does the merry-go-round last, and will he touch every single animal and sit on it? Like, how long does the kind of, hey, now after Atlanta, this will go on for a week. He'll go somewhere else, and it'll be, look at this quarterback room, and you'll rifle off 5 quarterbacks who, half of them probably have no business being on a roster anyways, but since Rourke is Canadian and all that, Look,
it hurts us as CFL fans.
Even as a CFL fan, the sweepstakes for Nathan Rourke and how that kind of lays the land for the rest of the league, highly fascinating in terms of where he might go or who might have room for him. I mean, there's the talk in Winnipeg, hosting the Grey Cup. Maybe you make him the sweepstakes alone would be great, not just having him in the league playing and showcasing what he can do. But I'm all here for the chatter if and when he gets off this NFL merry-go-round to kind of say, hey, I'm coming back, let's go.
Yeah, you're going to Atlanta where they have a quarterback for now that you're not going to unseed, and they have a quarterback for the future.
And then
they've got another guy who's actually started.
Yeah.
So you're going to go work out, and they're going to be like, oh, cool, we'll waive you. We'll get you, and we'll waive you in a month. You can come back here. Somebody's going to give you $650,000. Why don't you come back up here and win 4 straight MOPs, and then at the age of 30, somebody in the NFL might be like, damn it, this guy's a real deal. Come on down and compete for our starter's job. Not going to guarantee you the starter's job.
But a bigger body of work.
But you can compete for the starter's job.
Yeah.
I
think we just want to see
him play football.
We want to see him play in his prime, exactly.
It would suck if he's just toiling around as a number 4 quarterback somewhere, and he's better than that, but he's not going to get the shot. He's not going to get the shot. It's that simple. He's a Canadian guy. He's not going to get the shot.
And the less time on the field, I think Naylor mentioned as well. I mean, the last time he was actually playing competitively, regularly, was some time. You don't want to continue that. Then the legend Nathan Rourke goes on, and it's like, well, he hasn't played in 5 years. What is he now? It
just hurts me that a guy that talented is rolling into a situation to go work out in Atlanta where there's no chance of him ever getting a sniff of playing for that team at quarterback. Sucks. And he'd be such a high pick in our CFL fantasy drafts.
Well,
automatic first overall pick every single year. Oh well.
But say he goes to BC, Then where's VA go?
Well, he goes to BC. Ed Hervey leaves there to come to Edmonton. Ed Hervey leaves Hamilton to come to Edmonton. President, general manager goes and brings in Max Simic to be the head coach. Signs Vernon Adams. Boom.
Just the domino play there is fascinating.
That'd be something, wouldn't it?
The speculation would be great.
Give me that off-season discussion.
Exactly.
Give me that off-season discussion. That hurts. For the personal injury lawyers at www.sb-llp.com. All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, why wouldn't you go with somebody who's been doing it since 1952? Duh. I mean, that just makes a lot of sense. www.williamhuff.com. I was at the Stingers game last night. You know what I saw plastered everywhere? Stuff that was made by William Huff.
Stuff from the
Chairs that had covers from William Huff. William Huff gets you all the stuff.
No guff.
That's enough. All right. Here's what we learned on the show today. That Trev put together an amazing video that's going to be your sound of the day today. Trev, can you bring up the interview again? If you missed this, we're going to have it posted on social media shortly after the show today. We're going to have a lot of fun with Reed Wilkins here. And Reed Wilkins is going to have a lot of fun with us. And we decided to start it with a video that we're calling The Interview. Let's take a listen. This is your sound of the day today. Okay, thanks for the time today. Thanks for coming in. What'd you say your name was again?
Reed Wilkins.
I'm not familiar with it. Let's take a look at this. 630 Ched. What's that, some sort of cheese company? Inside Sports, Oilers pre- and post-game. Wow, so much stuff. Was that a volunteer position?
No, that was my paid job.
Right, yeah, okay. So you're probably familiar with the Edmonton Oilers?
Oh, yeah, I covered them for several years.
It doesn't matter. Okay, now this is interesting. City TV. Which city?
Edmonton.
Well, why wouldn't they just call it Edmonton TV then?
Well, they had City TV in numerous...
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, sports anchor and director in Lloydminster. Is that the Saskatchewan or the Alberta side?
Does it really matter?
No, probably doesn't matter. In Lloydminster, did you ever have a chance to hire me but decide to hire somebody else? Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. Okay, now this is interesting. Blockbuster Video, as in the Blockbuster Video, founded by David Cook, which at its peak had more than 9,000 stores.
Look, I worked there for 3 years, 30 years ago. I mean, it's not like I have any nostalgia for the company.
Do you remember those little rewinders that looked like cars to put the tape in so that it looked like a little hood of the car?
Yeah, I used one. You put the tape in, you hit a button, and it would rewind the tape for people.
Did you ever go to someone's house who had movies that were way overdue and threaten them with violence?
No comment.
When the store was empty, would you ever go into the adult film section and look at nudity?
Well, no, actually, we didn't rent pornography at Blockbuster. Very family-friendly environment.
That must have been why it went bankrupt.
I think online streaming might have contributed to that.
I highly doubt that works. Okay, well that should do it. Welcome aboard.
Excellent. And with whom shall I be working?
Don't worry about it. His name's Jason or something. He's kind of a nobody. I'd be surprised if he even lasts a year.
Nice.
And with whom shall I be working?
Did you ever go to someone's house who had movies that were way overdue and then threaten them with violence?
No comment.
Did you ever have to go to someone? All right, there you go. That is the interview with Reed Wilkins. Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Nobody, that probably won't last a year. That starts in early September, and it will be 3 to 6 every single day right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Man, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do. Reed absolutely nailed it. And with whom shall I be working with?
I don't know how you stayed straight for that one.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I mean, I failed miserably on that one.
Even the good copy, your lip was trembling a bit on a few of those.
Yeah, there's some other stuff like
too good.
There's a few points there where Reed and I couldn't look at each other.
Yeah,
I was just like, I'll just look down while you do the cold stare here, so we don't make contact, because it was that was pretty good. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Text of the day today. Let's go with Colin the Amishman. Sounds like Rourke needs someone to Tanya Harding some quarterbacks for him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, well.
There's your solution.
It is injury. That'd be the only.
That is your text of the day. Colin the Amishman.
Got him.
He's going to win that gift certificate to A&W. How about this? Buy any size frozen A&W root beer. Get a second frozen A&W root beer for free. Double the flavor. Double the chill. Double the joy for one delicious price. How about you go to A&W and double your smile, if that's possible. Make your smile twice as big as it was before you went to A&W. That might work.
You'd be laughing like you and Reed in the interview clip, eh?
A classic tale. What are you watching tonight, buddy? What's on the go?
What are we watching tonight? I think the Mariners continue play as well. Riverhawks will be on Edmonton Sports Talk tonight. They begin their 9-game trek out west. They'll be visiting Manny Ramirez's boys in the Victoria Harbor Cats, so I do believe 7:30 coverage will get underway in that one. In terms of watching, though, not too much, just kind of, keeping it low.
Yeah, trying to think tonight.
Maybe some light reading.
Tam and I will probably dive into either an episode of The Bear. She's now caught up, so we're watching season 3.
Yeah.
Didn't like the first episode. It was like a 27-minute collage episode. It was kind of weird. Or House of the Dragon.
A lot of yelling in that.
I think we're a couple episodes
Bear
behind
show.
on House of Dragon, so might get into that. Yeah, what have you watched? First season?
Yeah, I kind of got off it.
Cools down a bit after that.
Okay.
Great storyline for the cousin.
Just yelling.
You hate
the
him,
camera's always shaking.
and then you love him. Well, that's what a kitchen's like.
Whoa!
Yeah. The other day, Tam made the kids a sandwich for lunch and said, service.
With
I
what,
said, you've been watching the bear
swears.
too much.
Yeah.
Behind, corner, hands.
And the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, we'll watch Olympics.
I mean, we're looking for the Australia sweep today as well. Men's basketball beating Australia earlier today. The Canadian women's rugby sevens also beating Australia. 10 o'clock today, 3-on-3 basketball women v. Australia. So we'll look for the clean sweep down under.
All right. We've got Dave in Section T texted that says, online streaming, that fad will never take hold. I know. It's weird, right?
He got the...
Risky ploy. Doing something that's on the internet in 2024. For YouTube, Trev, who did a great job editing and putting together the interview. Well done, sir. You're the MVP of the show, Trev.
MVP.
I wouldn't go that far, but
MOP.
I know. I was just trying to be nice.
Oh, thanks, boys. I appreciate it.
You know what? Take it.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing more of those. It's kind of my thing. Like, I like videos. This is pretty cool. Learning all the radio, that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But like the video, that's my true passion, I guess. So let's keep those going for sure.
That was a lot of fun. All right, the hangout is coming up with Matty Owanek. That's going to do it for us today. Nielson Show brought to you by South Ford Chevrolet. Hey, you got 2 days left. Employee pricing. Save $18,000 on select models. South Fort Chev. Check out their website, www.southfortchev.com. For YouTube, Trev and Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielsen. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11 o'clock today. 2 guys in the goalie with myself, Cass and Gage, talking all things Draisaitl contract. We'll get into that around noon today. That's presented by GS Construction. I'll talk to you at 11. Take it easy.